St George.
Okay.
No,
I feel like as a person, like St George feels like a centre half. He feels like a Bobby Moore. Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
talkSPORT Sports Update, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
I'm Toby Gillis. He can't really say anything else, but Didier Deschamps insists he has total faith in the Argentine team of refs in charge of France-Morocco tonight, even though many believe the French to be the biggest threat to Argentina's World Cup defence. Perhaps someone no longer involved with France can offer a rather more concerned perspective. Here's Manu Petit's opinion.
Everything is under scrutiny. I hope so. To be honest with you, with what Trump did with Infantino, sorry, it's not Infantino, it's Mafia Infantino.
Morocco is live on talkSPORT tonight from 9. England will be rowing against the tide when they face Erling Haaland on Saturday. But do they have a secret dam to stop the Viking striker? Believe it or not, Haaland's only scored once when facing Dan Burn. So is he Thomas Tuchel's solution? Jason Cundy says maybe.
Physically,
Yeah.
there ain't many that can deal with Haaland because of this size. Now, you know, we've seen Gabriel go up against him. He fell foul the other day with the header, but I'm not sure that you're going to change your centre-half just for one player, but I understand the argument.
England-Norway live, talkSPORT Saturday night. Newcastle and Arsenal have been making signings today for the Toon. It's a teenage Dutch midfielder, Sean Sturr from Ajax, for about 23 million quid. With Kepa's future in doubt, the Premier League champions have moved for Leeds' Ilon Meslier on a free. Now, could AJ Fury be held in the UK? Yes, if a 2 a.m. ring walk time is agreed. That from Turki Al-Sheikh, the organiser. So is it realistic? Here's Spencer Oliver.
They want that fight to take place here, but it's all to do with public transport, you know, whether they can get that operating more freely because it's going to be a busy thing. It is a possibility.
talkSPORT News.
Temperatures have hit 35 degrees as the UK faces the third heat wave of the year, while the NHS says summer is now putting as much pressure on services as winter. More with Sinead at past.
talkSPORT Weather, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
The heatwave continues, although cloudier and patchy rain in northwest Scotland, which will last into the evening. Dry, clear and hot, with loads of hazy sunshine everywhere else.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein. I'm just to the left if you're watching on YouTube. Darren Bent is in the sunbed alongside me. We're live from South Beach, Miami. And by jingo have we got a show for you today here in Miami. We are, of course, kicking off with our build-up to England against Norway. We'll do that live from Miami. We'll also be joined by some brilliant guests as talkSPORT comes together here live from Miami. We'll be joined by Stuart Pearce, who's just turned up. Legends Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot, Sam Matterface, Olivia Bazaglo will be on our show as well, because we're building up to England in a World Cup quarter-final, and we're doing it live here from Miami.
The Three Lions off and running. Come on, England. Stands up a ball and a diving header is in. And England silence the Azteca.
I'm aware of the responsibility. I'm aware of the pressure that I carry along with all the other players.
Harry, your country needs you here. You've got to put this away. Right footed, he has. On the occasion, the team, everything against us, we found a way.
It's the dawn of a new era, and we do have an elite manager, and we have got some elite players.
We're going to win the World Cup, Bex?
Absolutely. Yeah, we can hardly wait this Saturday. England take on Norway in the World Cup quarter-finals. Would you believe it's live here in Miami? For the next 3 days, myself, Crockett and Tubbs next to me, no disrespect, Darren Bent, will be joined by some incredible guests as we build up to kick off live on talkSPORT this Saturday night. Guess where it is, DB?
Guess where what is?
Live from Miami.
Oh,
how are you?
I'm not bad.
Look at us.
Hey, nice shirt.
Look at us.
Nice shirt you're wearing there.
Yeah, thanks. You too. If you're not watching on YouTube, by the way, these are the type of shows where you should stick YouTube on or tablet or whatever it is, because we're in our new studios for the next 2 or 3 days. I should say a big thanks to Sirius. They are putting this up, and the studios look fantastic. You look fantastic.
You look fantastic.
Thank you. We've both got Miami shirts on.
Oh, what is it, by the way?
It's very hot out there.
That walk down that South Beach.
We came out of our hotel. I actually said to Emma and Max, who were with us, this is the worst morning of your life. And they were, why is that? And I went, because you'll never get a better walk to work, ever than walking along South Beach.
It's beautiful.
It is fantastic.
Convertibles everywhere, just,
beautiful.
Lovely.
So just to make you even more jealous, so yesterday, of course, last night, I think it is, we left New York, our base camp in New York. We got on a 2.5-hour flight, which was okay. I know you're not a fan. I'm not a fan of flying, but
it was smooth though.
It was smooth.
It was smooth.
What did you? So halfway through the flight, I looked out my window and I could see that about 5 miles away. There's a gigantic lightning storm going on. So I thought I'll video it, and I walked down the aisle because obviously I was in first class. Walked down the aisle to where Bentley was.
That's a lie.
And I showed him the video, and you were like, "What's happening? What's that?"
Yeah.
That worry, that scared you.
You know, it worried me because I was hoping you were going to say, I took that when we just took off from New York but you said no, it was 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, so it was out the window. If you look to your right.
Pilot, please, don't go anywhere near
it. Was no
divert around it.
We were okay. And then we came to our hotel last night.
Yeah.
And thankfully, it had a wardrobe in.
Incredible, that.
Or a closet, as the Americans call it. They call it a closet. It had a wardrobe in. So, by the way, Yasmin back at base camp, what a great job you've done.
Yeah.
Hotels are amazing, right?
Also as well, hangers. There was enough hangers as well. Because last time we had no wardrobe and 2 hangers. How's that work?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they put us up in New York. But we're very happy with that. We went out last night to a really quiet karaoke bar.
Yeah.
You refused to sing.
You discovered your card.
What?
Is that your card?
Oh, yeah. How about this?
It's the first time I've seen your card work this whole trip.
This is devastation. So when we checked into the hotel, I couldn't believe it. They asked for my card. So like, if I get anything in the room, and my card didn't work. Gutted about that. Yeah. So talkSPORT had to put it on theirs.
Yeah. Got to the bar though. I've never seen a card come up so quick.
Yeah, it worked there. And then by the way, I should point out that if you see me or Benty in a bar in Miami over the next 2 days, we don't know where Jason Cundy is.
No, yeah.
Because quite a few groups of English fans, absolutely fine, came over and went, "Oh, it's Cundy!" We don't know where Cundy is.
No, we don't know.
We don't know where he is.
We don't.
And then, that's it. We got the shirts this morning.
Yep.
What time did you wake up, by the way? Have you got through the jet lag?
Yeah, remember, I've been sleeping well.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, the last time we came to New York, which was in November, December time, my sleep pattern was horrific. Remember, I kept waking up at like 2 a.m., couldn't get back to sleep. I've been sleeping a good 7 hours.
Oh, that's good, okay.
Yeah,
so last time was the first time I slept all the way through. I got up
was
about
it?
8, yeah.
You taking melatonin?
No, I'm not taking that. I've got jet lag on top of jet lag on top of a month worth of breakfast. So my body doesn't really know what time I should be waking up.
Yeah.
But today, 8 o'clock, I was happy.
Yeah,
all
you
good.
Nice.
Ahead of what day is it today? Thursday or Wednesday? Thursday.
I think it's Thursday.
Thursday. So we got France, Morocco today at 9 p.m. GMT, BST, and then Friday, and then we've got our game Saturday.
Yeah. You excited or are you nervous?
A bit of both. I'm really excited that we're here.
Yeah.
Listen, I know we're very lucky to be in Miami. I get that.
Of course.
I'm really excited about going to the game.
Yeah.
I'm really excited that we're in the VIP section, so we're not really near.
Honestly.
No, just
honestly.
Hold on.
Why can't you speak excited to go to the game?
Right, hold on. What did you say in the bar yesterday when someone come up and wanted to shake your hand? They put your hand out, put a hand out like that. What did you say?
I'm a fist pumper. And what? No, why?
Don't want to touch the public?
No. What?
You've changed.
Okay, do you want to touch him? You just come out the toilet.
Who?
The geezer. I'm not shaking his hand. No.
You've changed.
I'm not running that risk. I looked at his hand, there's a bit of fluid on there. I'm not running that risk.
Will you shake the hand of our next guest who's waiting in the wings?
Oh, come on now.
We do that.
Legend, obviously, of course.
Yeah, legend. Stuart Pearce will be joining us. We've got Stuart Pearce, we've got Jim Proudfoot, we've got Adrian Down, we've got loads and loads of big names coming up. And one, finger, I'm not going to say who it is.
Don't even put it out there then.
No, I'm not. I just want to put it out there that there is a possibility, over the next 3 hours, a superstar might be here.
Yeah.
We don't know, right? Well,
it's very sporadic. Cause when he came on the last time...
No, don't tell
me. No, so when he came on last time, it was out the blue.
Yes.
So let's hope that we get that again.
But he is in the building.
I think he's going from Wimbledon via to Hong Kong to Brazil to get to it.
He's got to pick his keys up. I'm in Colombia. He'll pop over here. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we've got a busy show. But let's not keep our next guest waiting. Stuart Pearce will be joining me and Benny live on the set. This is World Cup Game Day, live from Miami. So much coming up over the next 3 hours.
management inside out. Tuchel might just be the 1% difference.
He might well be, but what I'm saying
between winning it and not winning it.
I need to make this really clear. I am not questioning or doing him down. I'm trying to give you a balanced view of how I see management.
Yeah.
He hasn't done it yet. You're only ever judged on what you end up winning, not whether you could have won it. Brendan Rodgers, apart from the slip, would have possibly, well, very nearly could have won the Premier League.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they don't judge him on the fact as if he did win it. He did win it.
Until England do it.
That's all I'm saying. And I want him to win it. I want the country to win the World Cup.
The bottom line is this, and we will never know. If Tuchel had been in charge of England at Wembley that night, in the European final, against Italy, you have ended up winning it.
I was there, by the way. I was there. You know, you
changed it. So Simon's point is right. Is it not, Sean?
The whole world is watching. Even the most.
You change it and you lose, right? You didn't know what you
change
it and you win. You do know what
you make a decision.
That is the life.
No. You make a decision. We all know you live and die by decisions. But when something's coming on top and the whole world's watching it and going, we need to change something. We need to change something. We need to change something. Okay, we haven't changed something. They've scored. Now we're going to change something. They've scored. Now it's easy to be a Monday night quarterback. We all know that, right? But the bottom line is that my inherent belief is the reasons why there's elite managers and there's the reason why there's good managers. Right?
None of us have ever had a bad game in here. Simple as that. Not a bad game.
See, we're not football
when you're on the sidelines, and you're under pressure.
Oh, he's coming alive now, Mr. Dyke.
That's when the truth is. Really.
Tuchel will only be judged by when those moments come. Yes. They haven't come against Ghana.
Which is fair. That's exactly fair.
But when they do come, I'm willing to bet you that Tuchel's credentials and the elite gene that I think that he has, which is the reasons why he's managed PSG, Bayern Munich. Yeah, it's a mentality. It's a mentality.
Of course, elite gene.
Maybe it's a bloody stupid.
I've got a ginger gene.
Well, yeah, you've got many genes, I suspect.
I have flat genes.
Ill-fitting ones, I suspect, yeah.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
To World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent, brought to you by Burger King Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction. Delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app. We are coming to you live from South Beach, Miami. I don't know if I've said that. I have said that. Okay. Still to come. Big transfer news on the way. Bruno Guimaraes has informed Newcastle he wants to leave the club. And just quickly, Brentford have signed Callum Wilson on a one-year deal. And we can get all the very latest from Wimbledon, of course. It's coming to the end of Wimbledon. We've got only a few days left. Watching for talkSPORT is Lisa O'Sullivan.
Yes, it's women's semi-finals day, and Karolina Muchova has just beaten Coco Gauff to make the Wimbledon final for the first time. It went to sudden death in the final set tiebreak. Extreme heat here on centre court, and Muchova, who's always been great on grass despite having never passed the quarterfinals here before, just got past Coco Gauff. Her variety of shot making it a joy to watch. She was in front for 11 points of that last set tiebreak. A gnarly net cord looked like it was going to end it for her. Gauff's only weakness, her serve, handed advantage back to Muchova. They both had a match point saved, but then Muchova finally came through 12-10 in that final set tiebreak. Coco Gauff goes out, but a second major final awaits for Karolina Muchova, and it seems a just reward after years of injury and setbacks for the Czech, who wins 6-2, 1-6, 7-6.
Good work as always. Thank you for that, Lisa. Right on with the football. I'm delighted to say we're joined by our mate, former England captain, the legend Stuart Pearce is here. Stuart, how are you?
I am in town. Where are we again?
We are in Miami. I don't know what I'm saying like that.
Yeah.
Feels great, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel great to be in Miami?
It does.
I keep saying it. We are so lucky to do what we do. And then all of a sudden you open your front door and you walk along South Beach, you come to work and you're in Miami. It's a little bit nuts, right?
It is. But to be fair, I've been here since, not here, but here and around since the 1st of June. So it's been magnificent, bouncing in and out of different cities and everything's so good.
See, we'll talk about your travels a bit later on, but you've been, obviously, to some incredible locations, including Mexico. What was that like?
Crazy city, obviously, population through the roof, you know. But the football vibe there was unbelievable. I think we kid ourselves in the UK and in England thinking everyone loves football until you go to Mexico or until you bump into the Argentinian fans or whatever. It was brilliant. The game itself was just, it had everything. I mean, you've seen it yourself, you know, from some good play in it, from rear guard action to keep the game alive for us, sendings off, everything, ups and lows. The Mexicans were incredible. And even after the game, after the defeat, they were pretty humble. We bumped into a few people who said, you know, you've got a good team there and we think you might go on and win it and good luck, you know, which is really nice.
What was the Azteca like? Because we've spoke to some people who've been to that stadium and they've come away and said, literally, it's the best stadium they've ever been to in their life. And obviously we've been blessed in England with some incredible ones, but where did you rate it in terms of the stadiums you've been to?
It's an interesting one. It probably needs a bit of renovation to it. It's an old school one and you go to it and it's got the history. You know, when you walk around somewhere and you think, this is where Pelé played in the World Cup final, you know, this is the Hand of God Stadium, and it's got that history that follows you around, which is great. But Tottenham's better.
Yeah, okay.
As a stadium, Tottenham's
I wasn't
better.
expecting that quote.
Yeah,
it's all right. Tottenham's better.
Well, it's a modern stadium that's got all the facilities to it, you know. The Azteca's not got all the modern facilities and stuff like that, but it's got the history, you know. It's an incredible... And what makes any good stadium? The fans.
Yeah.
The atmosphere.
You know.
Everything we read was about the air, or lack of air there. Now, you keep yourself in great condition. I don't really know about Adrian Dome and Jim Proudfoot. Did anyone struggle climbing up steps?
Well, them two were blowing out their tube, it's fair to say. But
I'll try to be so kind with that question.
Yeah. No, I'm taking you back to Heathrow now. Just walk into the plane. Now you're in trouble, you know, with the rarefied air of West London. You could feel it, definitely. I've done a couple of sort of altitude walks in my time, and you know what it's like. You're breathing, but you feel as though you're not drawing enough air in, but you could definitely feel it without a doubt. And but to be fair, our players were magnificent, I thought, you know, didn't show any signs of altitude.
That's what I was going to say to you, Piercy. Does that make that performance then even more special? Because the talk, like, if it was been played in a European climate, we all probably would have said, England will win this quite comfortably. Yeah. But the fact you added in the altitude, and everyone before the game was altitude, I don't know if England can cope. Does that make that performance then even more special?
I think so. I think it was one of the best England performances I've ever seen or ever been part of, to be quite honest with you. You can probably name a handful, maybe, you know, from sort of the 5-1 win in Germany to Euro 96 beating the Dutch 4-1. They were good performances, but this was an all-round brilliant performance that had adversity in it. It had everything that you'd want in a game of football, really, you know, and you didn't know when the goals were coming. I mean, 2 England goals come, you didn't see a build-up of pressure from England, and bang, we get 2 goals quickly, you know. It's an incredible game.
We've got so much to talk to you about, Stuart, so let's round up all the very latest World Cup action on talkSPORT, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Daily Tournament Roundup on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Now we are just, 2 days away from England's World Cup quarter-final showdown with Norway. talkSPORT's England correspondent Faye Carruthers sat down with Dan Burn ahead of that game. She asked the Newcastle defender if he would relish the opportunity to come up against Erling Haaland.
I do enjoy playing against Erling, purely just from a physical point of view. Like, I quite like that sort of physical battle, and I get on well with him on the pitch. Like, we do get on quite well, although you'd have to ask him if he thinks the same thing. But yeah, like, if I'm asked to do that, I'd be more than ready and more than happy to do that. But obviously I also know that we've got sort of 4 other centre-halves here who are also top quality players and have played this whole tournament because of that too. So
I've seen a picture of you both grappling and it didn't look like you were friends, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I was going to say it might be different between England and Norway, but between Newcastle and City it wasn't maybe as fierce as this could be.
There were lots of question marks, Stuart, about Dan Burney's inclusion into that England squad. Have all those questions been answered with those 20 minutes?
I think when you take a squad of players to any tournament, you know full well you're going to have individuals in there that probably won't kick a ball or light minutes in the tournament itself. And you've got to keep them on side in that you might have to put them on a pitch to go and do a job for a short period of time, and they've got to be on side from start to finish and not be sulking. And Dan Burn's one of those. He was exactly what probably Thomas Tuchel wanted. Someone that maybe might not start the game, needs to contribute in training, and when he's needed, goes on and delivers a sterling performance.
When he came on, I thought it was exceptional. I mean, I guess this is why Thomas Tuchel's the manager and we're not, but when he put on the 2 centre-halves, it was almost like, okay, we're going to retreat and kind of just sit on the edge of our box and defend it. Is that why Thomas Tuchel's been brought in to make those type of decisions? Because we all questioned it and thought, well, can they hang on for 20 minutes? They're down to 10 men. It's a dangerous game. But in the end, it was relatively comfortable.
Yeah, it was. And I think the defensive attitude of all the players made it comfortable, I've got to say. I weren't sure whether they were the correct ones. I can understand why he's done it, but you thought, and you know, once you pen yourself back in there, you can't get out. And sometimes, I remember a few years ago, we went down to 10 men with the under-21s and ended up bringing another striker on and just went 4-3-2 because you need an outlet every now and then. And we didn't have that outlet, to be fair. We just cleared it, but we defended well enough to get over the line. Fantastic performance.
In our next game, Erling Haaland is obviously the threat. If he doesn't get the ball, it's very unlikely they're going to score more than one goal, you would imagine. If you were Erling Haaland, Stuart, would you want Dan Burn to start for England?
I don't know what you'd want. There's certain individuals, you know what, he might look and say, Mark Gahey, he might be quicker and get in front of me for the ball, but I tell you what, when the ball comes in the box is what I'll get paid for and what I'm good at. I can physically intimidate him a little bit, so there might be a little bit of that.
Is more of his threat, Erling Haaland, on the floor, in the air?
But he's both. You know better than I.
I think that's the problem you've got, is that I don't think Erling Haaland will look at the back 4 or back 3, whatever Thomas plays, and goes, I'll play on him. I just think... And I think one of the beauties of him is that we saw it against Brazil, where first half we sat there and watched the game. He's completely non-existent. He almost looks not interested at times, but he knows that one bit of quality, that cross into the box, in the air, on the ground, if he gets across his marker, it's a goal. And I think that's what's devastating, because some centre forwards, when they're not involved in the game and a chance come, because they've not been involved, they're a little bit cold. And it's like, the chance came a little bit too early. But with him, he's always ready, always calm. And then the header for Gabriel. I mean, I don't think he'll care who he's up against. He'll just fancy himself. And when you've scored in every game so far this World Cup, he's thinking to himself, well, it's just a matter of time.
I'll tell you what, do you think when he was a kid, do you know he has rare touches of the ball, then he scores? Do you think, like when you used to go over the park, take the ball and go and have a kick about, do you think he goes over the park and don't even take the ball? You know? I think the first hour he thinks, I'll go and get the ball now.
He's just walking, that is.
Yeah,
I do that now. I did that this morning. He's the threat, though, right? If we're gonna win the game, we have to stop him. So with that in mind, there's always been question marks, I think, with this England squad as to who lines up in our back 4, and is it going to be a back 4? 9 times out of 10, I think it's going to be a back 4. Who are the 2 centre-halves? Who's playing at right back when Reece James is not fit enough? Do you change anything if everyone's available to him? Because I'm hearing whispers that Reece James might be, maybe 60, 70%. But do you change maybe the 2 centre-halves is the question. Do you change them at all for this one? Or even the formation, Stuart?
Yeah, for me, no. I think he's near enough arrived on a settled side. if Reece James is available, he'll come in. Obviously, Quansah's suspended for this one, so he can't play anyway. So I think they'll keep the same side. They've got a rhythm to what they're doing now, and that's exactly what you want by the time you get to a quarter-final stage of a tournament.
Pierce, I feel like it's going to be fascinating, this game, for so many reasons. One of the reasons is that I think Norway will be the team that kind of maybe defend a little bit deeper, make it difficult to break down. Now, I think this is the first time England will come up against a team that's got a genuine top quality centre forward, where you look at Erling Haaland's strengths. Of course, crosses in the box, his size, but he's pacing behind. Now, it's a dangerous game for England to play when they're pressing, trying to kind of unlock this Norwegian team, because let's be honest, the space is going to be in behind because they've got the ball. How do England approach that? Because so far this tournament, they've had Wissa, he's not going to run away from you. We've had Paraguay, we've had Ghana, we've had these games, but this is the first time now they're coming up against one of the best in the world.
Yeah, and a few things have changed as well in this calendar week. We went to Mexico with our sort of backs against the wall, altitude, all that talk, and the Mexicans are really on form, not lost at home for however long, and climate and everything. And all of a sudden, we've gone through that, and now we're going into another game, like you say, where we're going to have the ascendancy.
Yeah.
People are going to think we're favourites to win this game, might have more of the ball than the opposition. But it's that counter-attack. The two centre-halves, for me, have got to make sure they do their work correctly and defend when we're attacking. That's key. And that's what good central defenders do. They get themselves into positions. It's like good forwards. When you're getting attacked and you're a forward, you just wander off the centre-half, and he's looking at the game as a spectator, and then bang, you're gone. And he's one of the best at that, spinning in behind. To be fair, that was your forte, running those channels.
Yeah, that was before VAR. He would have been offside.
All the time he'd have been offside.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, if I played against him, I'd have just stood like that. Played like that.
Just like that walk in the park, right? Just like that walk in the park. Just quickly before we move on, we're going to win that game, Stuart?
I think so. I think I think the game in Mexico has galvanised a real confidence and belief in the group. And I also think as well, the players have got a confidence in the manager now. I think he's made decisions during the game. I think he's made decisions over the calendar year with Jude and whatever, and putting Morgan in, and then he's changed that when we got to a tournament. I think there's a real belief in the group at the moment from what I'm seeing.
OK, we're going to win the World Cup?
Of course.
Good answer. You wouldn't start Dan Burn, right? Neither of you two would?
No.
OK. No. We want to get your thoughts. This is turning into quite a popular part of our show, so obviously it's really difficult for us to take your calls because we are live from Miami. But we can hear from you. Just send us a WhatsApp voice note, 03717 223344, on whether or not you think Dan Burn should start for England. 03717 223344. We'll play the best ones out in today's show. That was a roundup of all the very latest World Cup action on talkSPORT, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. They're here for it.
Daily Tournament Roundup on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Right, still to come, big transfer news coming out of Newcastle, which has certainly excited Arsenal fan Darren Bent. But first, it's time for no Googling. Hit that button, Jack. Good work. We want to know, before Erling Haaland, who was the last player to score at least 7 goals in their first 4 World Cup appearances? Hold on. Either you two know that? Stuart, you were born, you weren't, Benny.
I'm going to guess at Pelé.
OK.
Or Gerd Muller.
Right, we don't answer just yet.
I'm going to go for the French guy.
What, just the French guy?
Is it Fontaine?
Just Fontaine?
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad I said don't answer yet.
Sorry.
The answer to that, one of them's right, one of them's wrong. The answer to that and so much more coming up live on World Cup Game Day from, Miami.
I can't believe they're moaning about losing.
No, you're right.
They're moaning about the decisions, and have seen all the interviews after the game.
Right.
And can someone remind them that they were winning 2-0?
Yeah.
Like, you've only got
what is their? I mean, the goal that wasn't given, and it was at 1-0 at the time. What an unbelievable goal! It was one of the best goals you'll see in the World Cup. Team goal down that right hand side, and I think who was it that was fouled? Was it Martinez that was fouled? I can't remember.
It was over in the far corner.
It was in the far corner. Anyway, whoever it was, right? He does step on his toes.
Do you think you should go back to it?
I think the fact that Argentina didn't actually regain possession of the ball and it was a continuous attack, I think on that occasion, I think it's fair. I think it's a foul.
I know, but like so much has to happen.
Yeah, but
Argentina so much has to happen. He skipped past 3 Argentina players. Like
nutmegged
one of them, and you kind of look at it and go, hold on a minute, right? All right, that is a foul over in the corner. But he's run the length of the pitch, skipped past 3 Argentina players who can't make a tackle, and then they put one across the box and they score. And you go, hold on a minute, you've had 3 opportunities to win the ball back.
Yeah, they have. It was
poor. So how much advantage do you want?
Well, there's no law.
Maybe if you skip 1 tackle, he's run the length of the pitch. Yeah, come on. I don't
hear
know
what
how that's fair.
Do you know what?
I have got an issue with it.
Do you know what? I absolutely hear you loud and clear, but we both agree it's a foul.
Yeah, okay, but then Argentina might as well just stop playing.
Yeah, well, you can't because the foul's not given.
I know, but if they believe it's a foul and the VAR are going to go all the way back to it, Argentina might as well just stop and go, can't score, it don't matter because it's going to go back. He's gone past 3 players.
Unbelievable run. That's one of the...
Iconic. There's no other word. An 18-carat gold trophy that owns the world, and it waits. It waits for 4 years. It's 1971, and FIFA need a new trophy to replace the Jules Rimet, so they launch a worldwide design competition. And in his studio in Milan, 50-year-old sculptor Silvio Gazzaniga immediately gets to work. But instead of sending FIFA a picture, he goes further and makes a prototype they can hold. It works. FIFA choose his design over 52 others, and perhaps the most beautiful piece of silverware or goldenware enters the beautiful game. Let's let the artist himself describe it. Gazzaniga said the idea was to create something symbolising exertion, dynamism, and the jubilation of an athlete in the moment of victory, with all the joy that contains. The malachite rings in the base fitted the sculpture well because it's green like a football field, and it's also a precious stone. The first captain to lift the trophy was Franz Beckenbauer in 1974, and of course, it's only the greatest who get their hands on it. Zoff, Matthias paved the way for the modern-day heroes who dreamt of lifting Gazzaniga's masterpiece. But there was something about this man holding it that seemed to deliver everything the sculptor had imagined. Were I to ever redo it, the artist once said, I wouldn't change a thing.
Welcome back to World Cup Game Day Live. We are from Miami. We'll talk about our shirts in just a minute. I don't think Stuart Pearce has mentioned them yet. We want to know, the question before the break, we wanted to know before Erling Haaland, who was the last player to score at least 7 goals in the first 4 World Cup appearances, which one of you said Gerd Müller? Stuart, well done. 1970, got 8 goals. Would you believe?
A couple of them against us, England.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought that Fontaine got like 13 in one or 14 in one competition.
He did get it in 1 World Cup. Wow. But he weren't, I'm guessing he didn't get... I don't write these, do you, all right?
No, I'm sounds all.
Stuart, you haven't talked about our shirts yet.
They're magnificent.
What do you think of them?
Well, I've got bad memories of Hawaiian shirts because on my first pre-season with Nottingham Forest, end of season tour, me and Neil Webb thought it would be funny to go and buy shirts
like these
to go to the airport and meet the Forest boys, which was fine. So we greased our hair back. We had black reflective sunglasses.
Yeah.
Webby's one had Club Aloha written all over it. And we gone to East Midlands Airport and it was raining. We had our flip-flops on. It was pouring with rain. Everyone thought it was funny, apart from Brian Clough.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't know why.
Yeah. And we missed not being bombed off the tour by a fraction.
What did he say?
He weren't happy. He said, what do you think you're doing?
What do you think you're doing, young man?
Yeah.
Is it like...
You and Webby, get yourself home. A pair of idiots. And we don't want idiots at this club.
I don't think I've ever heard you do Brian Clough. That's amazing. That's amazing.
But your shirts are really good. You know what I mean? In the right environment, they're brilliant. A wet East Midlands Airport, not so much.
And here's the difference. We are a couple of idiots, so we know that.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself, you.
Speak for yourself. Talking of idiots, still to come. The voice of live football is not an idiot, is the GOAT. Adrian Dunn will be joining us. Right, bit of big news coming out of St James's Park. Newcastle captain Bruno Guimaraes has informed the club he wants to leave. This comes off the back of Premier League champions Arsenal expressing interest in the midfielder. So, Isak, Tonali, Gordon, Anderson, just a few of the names that have left Newcastle. Stuart, of course you've been affiliated with that club. Do you feel sorry for their fans?
Very much so. I think I had a feeling that they were just on the cusp of going on to challenge the big boys, and that seems to have dropped away badly. I like Eddie, love Eddie as a manager, I've got to say. But they're losing players now. The takeover of the club, you thought the financial investment might be good for them as well. But the fan base up there, having played for them, they're just incredible.
It's like a religion up there, right?
It is.
It's either Sunderland or Newcastle. North.
Yeah, take your pick. Not in Newcastle, it's not.
No, I know that, of course
but,
it's not. But it's not like football down here, is it? Without sounding patronising.
No,
I mean it's like literally wake up. They work to pay for their season ticket. They go watch a game and they talk about the next game until the next game comes around.
And the loyalty of their fans as well. I hear fans around the country belly aching about their club if they drop off a standard slightly. I don't hear that from Newcastle fans. I've got to say, I'm going up first game of the season. I think they've got Liverpool on Sunday, so I'm going up to that one. So that'll be a good game to see and cover. But hopefully they can reinvest some of the money they're getting in and re-galvanise the team again.
Yeah, I do feel for Eddie Howe. I really do, because again, if Bruno leaves tonight, he's obviously gone to Tottenham as well. Isak, they just haven't been able to kind of recruit the players certainly the quality that they've lost. And you look at what they've bought some of these players for. Isak, was it 60 million? They're selling for 120. Like tonight, they bought him for a fee. They're selling for more. So clearly, he's improving these players. But at some point, I think if Newcastle do want to go to the next level, they've got. I know it's hard with the PSR and the financial fair play, but if they do want to go to the next level and then stay there, they've got to find a way of holding on to some of these players.
If this continues, obviously 2 clubs get relegated from the Premier League. Are they in danger of being one of them? Why are you not questioning 2 clubs?
What do you mean 2 clubs?
2 clubs get relegated.
This season?
Yeah.
Who are they going to be?
No, there's only 2 spaces to go down, right?
Well,
Ipswich are the other.
Honestly, I knew it was going. I know. Yeah, no. Idiot. It's one of them for Newcastle. I think I would more fear for Newcastle with the Eddie Howe scenario, because if I'm Eddie Howe and he's not a miracle worker. At some point, you need to help him financially to be able to get it over like he did with the League Cup. So I just think at one point he might just go, do you know what? Enough. There's no more I can do with this football club. Enough's enough.
Could he walk away?
I sincerely hope not, because I really like him as a manager, and I think he's a good fit at Newcastle. You know, I think the fans have bought in with Eddie, and I just like his management style. I really do. He's not a self-publicist in any way. I think he's very good at his trade. So I think it will be a massive loss for Newcastle and Eddie, both of them, if they parted company.
Let me ask you, this question could be answered over the next 2.5 hours. It's that big a question. Is financial fair play, Stuart, the way it's set up, is it right? You've got owners of a side like Newcastle who've got more money as owners than any other club in any other sport in the world, I'm led to believe. Billions upon billions. Yet they can't spend as much as Manchester United or other big clubs that have a greater income, right? Is that fair?
On the face of it, no. I see it from 2 sides. I see it from longevity of football clubs. So I don't want anybody coming into a football club and bankrolling the club, and all of a sudden it's boom and bust, and they walk away, and all of a sudden the club are on their knees and dropping down the divisions, and maybe even go out of. Because I think of the fans, probably because of my non-league background, I think of the fans. The clubs need to be, there for the next 100 years or so. But the other side of that is, if people want to come in and put an investment into the club, I don't think they should be stopped because of that.
Do you know, I've always said to you, haven't I?
You've got a good idea for it.
I've always said to you that, say a club like Newcastle, who have got obviously the wealthiest owners apparently, I think even if they came into the Premier League with financial fair play and wrote a cheque for...
Well, for the next 5 years, it's the best.
Here's 10 billion to the Premier League, bang, here you go. So if we do up and leave, here's 10 billion that allows the club to be run for the next...
Almost like a parachute payment from themselves, right?
I think so, because I do feel for the situation. Like, we know Chelsea and Roman Abramovich was before the financial fair play, certainly earlier on. But you're right, for Newcastle and teams like that, they get these big owners in, how are they ever expected to kind of make the strides forward? They're never going to catch a Man United or an Arsenal or a Chelsea. Yeah, you get a one-off season where they'll be fantastic and things go their way, but like kind of consistently, Newcastle won't be finishing in the top 4 if they keep losing their best players.
Yeah, I think that's a good option, to be fair, to have that money that's bankrolled there. And some of the owners that come in, when you look at maybe Manchester City, the infrastructure they put around the training ground around there, stuff they do in the community as well, you think teams like that shouldn't be stopped from investing money into the area.
Bring it back to Bruno and Arsenal. Do you need him, Benty? Does he start for you?
Oh, I mean, he wouldn't start for me at the minute, but of course, I mean, he's 28 years old. It's almost comes a little bit away from what Arteta likes to do, but he's a fantastic player. He's a great player, and you start looking at what they're looking at in terms of midfield players. I know Trossard's going to be leaving, he plays on the left, but when you look at Zubimendi, Lewis Skelly now has emerged as another midfield player, Odegaard's to the Eze, Rice, Marino, who was obviously a big miss when he got injured, and then you add Bruno to the mix. I mean, I like the fact that these clubs now that are in Champions Leagues, there's so many games you have to play per season, and then you throw in the internationals as well. You need thick squads. So I think the days of just signing Bruno to start for Arsenal, they're gone now. It's about squad rotation. He'll get more than enough games in the Champions League, Premier League, League Cup, FA Cup. There's more than enough games for him to play in. So I think that addition to Arsenal's squad would be top.
Yeah, I think it was Fergie Stewart that always said you strengthen when you're at your strongest. Yeah. The way Arsenal look now and the players they're looking at bringing in, and the not uncertainty amongst the other clubs, but a lot of the big hitters have got new managers. Do you have Arsenal's out-and-out favourites already before ball's been kicked?
Yeah, I probably do, on the grounds that they're investing at a good time. Sometimes that can be dangerous. You bring too many in and you've got to try and fit them in and keep them happy, but you've got to invest at the right time. This is the right time for Arsenal. This is their window to really have impact on English football, I think. Pep's just left as well, so what are Manchester City going to do next year? It's a little bit unknown at Manchester City. Liverpool probably not as strong as they have been, sort of thing, and Chelsea, same again. So the competition's not as strong, maybe, but until the season starts, we don't know.
Even from a managerial perspective, you've got to think Arteta's the only manager in the league now who's won a league title.
Yeah, that's insane.
He's the only, we're used to having Klopps and the Peps, and you got now Arteta. They at one stage it was 4 or 5. You'd go,
yeah, that's
wow.
a good point.
Now that he's the only one there, you go, wow.
Today we were having this conversation the other night over some red wine, so it got a little bit heated. Do Arsenal need a number 9?
I would say yes.
They do.
Yeah, if you could invest in a number 9. I mean, Havertz, okay. I'm not totally convinced on him, but he certainly, plays part of the jigsaw, but I think if you did get a real frontliner that is going to get you X amount of goals. Gyökeres, to be fair, his goals tally was quite good last year, but someone convincing, I think that would almost make him a super player.
I'm going to interrupt you there, Benny, because we do have breaking news, bizarrely, on this very subject. So this is hot off the press. talkSPORT now understands that Bruno Guimaraes has agreed personal terms with Arsenal. However, Newcastle remain sure he's not for sale.
Do you know what I understand, Pierce, and you know better than me? Is this a new thing? Because I remember you couldn't talk to the club until the two clubs had agreed the fee. Now all of a sudden it's the other way around, where the player and the club have now agreed the contract, the personal, but the clubs haven't.
What happens next?
Well, I didn't think you could talk to the clubs, to be quite honest with you. As a player,
is it not down to how long you've got left on your contract?
Well, that comes in January the 1st if you're a Bosman. So you can sign for another club and whatever. I'm not so sure you can actually officially talk to.
I mean, you obviously can, because he has.
It's bizarre,
right?
Man. You know what? his little face lit up then, because when you turned around and said on that subject, he thought a centre forward was coming through the door. You missed that one.
Harlan.
Yeah.
When you said that, I did go, ooh.
Did you? You thought,
yeah. And then
who are you thinking? Who's your first thought?
I had no idea, but because that's the problem you've got, and Piercy's right in terms of Gyökeres and Havertz. If you could find someone who's guaranteeing you 20 goals, of course.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I don't think there's that many of those guys exist anymore.
Alvarez, would you take him? A lot of people linking him to your club.
Yeah, I take him, of course. Julian Alvarez. He's a top quality centre forward. I think he's going to Barca, though, isn't he?
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't got breaking news on that.
But yeah, Guimaraes, I thought, breaking news.
Yeah, you happy with that if he joins?
Yeah.
You got to be, right? He's going to make you stronger.
Yeah,
but you need. I agree with Stuart. You need a number 9, and you definitely need someone on the left.
Yeah, do you know what? The centre forward for me, I don't worry about it as much. Yeah, a left-sided player, though, 100% Arsenal need that.
Yeah, okay. In case you've just turned on the radio, a bit of breaking news. I said it moments ago. talkSPORT understands Bruno Guimaraes has agreed personal terms with Arsenal. However, Newcastle remain sure he's not for sale. We don't quite know how that works, but at the moment he's still a Newcastle player. We're going to have a quick break. More for myself, Bent and Stuart, and some other big names joining us as well on World Cup Game Day live from Miami.
I think you're underestimating Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, you can look at the figures and say, yeah, not brilliantly impressive. But every Newcastle fan will tell you he's the heartbeat of their team.
That's Newcastle, though, Jeff. Jeff, we're not Newcastle United.
Oh,
right?
Joe, don't be arrogant. Do not be arrogant, pal.
What do you mean not be arrogant? We're Premier League champions. I'm not saying I don't want him at the club.
Yeah, you're Premier League champions now. You're Premier League champions now. Let's come on in 12 months' time and find out if you're going to say the same thing if you're not Premier League champions then.
Jeff, of course we're Premier League champions. We just won it a few months ago. Come on, Yeah. So you got to give us a bit of time. What I'm saying is, good player, but I don't want him to be the marquee signing. If he is the marquee signing, I'm going to be upset.
Well, I tell you what, Joe, shouldn't you be worried? You're talking about marquee signings. Aren't you concerned about financial fair play, or the equivalent of as it is now? And you busting the rules.
Get rid of everyone you need to get rid of to make it happen. Because if you're spending 60 mil on a player, then that means people need to go as well, right? Get rid of... We've just spoken about Norgard. If you don't like him, get rid of
Trossard,
him.
Gabriel Jesus.
We're hearing Trossard. Get rid of all of them. To be fair, I do like Trossard. And if it was up to me, I'd get rid of Martinelli instead. But get rid of who you need to get rid of. Then we can start talking business. But this better not be the marquee signing.
I do the marquee signing, but I agree that Arsenal need a left winger. Do you know what I mean? Don't spend 80 million on Guimaraes and then you can't afford to go and buy, like, if Barcola's available, for instance, Joel, and he's worth 100. You need a top left winger, don't you, on that side?
100%. And that's what I want to see. I want to see someone... Look, the reality is if Marcus Rashford was available at a good price, I would probably go for him. As long as, it doesn't unbalance the team, because he's a great player. And the reason why I say unbalance the team is because, you heard of the stuff at United before, how he was over there when things weren't going his way or things were a bit down. So I think it would be a good move for us to go in there and get him.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Welcome back to World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent, Stuart Pearce is here as well, brought to you by Enterprise Rent a Car, whatever it is, they're here for it. We are coming live from South Beach in Miami. As soon as our show is finished, we are going to sunbathe. Well, you're going to play paddle.
4 o'clock.
And Stuart, do you have plans? Oh, by the way.
Yes, I do. France, Morocco.
Oh, yeah, of course. You're live on talkSPORT.
Got to do some work, my
9
friend.
PM. Talking of you going to events, I noticed that you're in New York next week.
That is correct, yeah.
Bon Jovi, I know you're a big Bon Jovi fan at Madison Square Garden. Are you going?
Not at this moment in time. I've been trying to track some tickets down, but it's been very difficult. And at the prices that you know what I'm like spending money. At the price,
Someone
crazy.
watching this will have a little box that you can go and.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. If you want Stuart Pearce to go with you, or you got tickets, drop me a line.
Yeah, Bon Jovi. Come on, someone will sort it for him.
You're not that far. You're halfway there, aren't you?
Oh my goodness!
Still
and most days we're living on a prayer as well.
Very good. Hold on, jump it. No, I've only got a couple. Still to come, Adrian Durham and Stuart Pearce are going to reveal exactly what they've been up to in America during the World Cup. You first got out at the beginning of June, right?
1st of June we landed in Miami, yeah.
It's a lot to talk about. Just quickly, Bruno Guimaraes has agreed personal terms with Arsenal. Newcastle say he's not for sale. And we can hear from John Stones now, who joined Lions Den on England's official YouTube channel today alongside Elliot Anderson. And he was asked about the prank he played on Thomas Tuchel in the dressing room after the win against Mexico, which was fantastic.
Yeah. We were just saying before, like, his reaction.
He had his hands on his head. He was like this.
Point.
He's like, no, another one.
Yeah. I tried to keep a straight face as I was doing it because I saw he's thinking, has he actually hurt himself?
Yeah.
Especially after what Hendo had just done outside and.
Yeah. We've already seen him do it though, so we all knew what was coming. But he didn't.
No, so
it was top.
Oh, it was good. It was good vibes in there for everyone.
When you see things like that, Stuart, I'll come to you first. When you see things like that in a dressing room, to me that says they're all together in this. Yeah. Like the manager, if you've got that relationship with your manager and everyone's laughing and there's a little prank, and it works and it goes so great, and it's only a little thing, but I think little things like that gives us, the outsiders, just a tiny glimpse into how well things are going.
Yeah, listen, I tell you what, they've probably not had a better vibe in the dressing room than after that game in Mexico because it weren't a cakewalk. They've had to earn what they got there and the togetherness there. And I think Tuchel as well, I don't know him particularly well, done the odd interview with him, but he's got that glint in his eye and a sense of humour about what he does as well. I don't think he takes himself too seriously, which ain't a bad thing in football management.
No, you definitely need that. Right, let's take a look at the latest odds with our friends at Bet365.
On the ball on talkSPORT with Bet365. This summer, Bet365 are bringing you more offers than ever before. 18 plus, gambleware.org.
Yes, everyone's favourite Freeth, Steve Freeth, joins us from Bet365. Freeth, are you all right?
Only Freeth, I think. Yeah, you should be wanted dead or alive for those Bon Jovi gags, by the way. I was racking my brains just trying to think about it, but yes, I managed to tap one home.
Yeah.
Unlike Diana Ross. But there we go.
Yeah, you should be so lucky. Oh, no, it's Britney Spears. Right, what are the latest odds on the outright winner of the World Cup, and how have those odds changed throughout the tournament?
You know what? There hasn't been many changes at the top, you know, Andy. The three favourites are basically through, aren't they? France, Spain and England at the start of the tournament. So it's France 15-8, Spain at 4-1, and Argentina are probably the biggest movers this tournament, 10 into 4-1. Money for England finally 9-2, with Norway at 16 and Morocco at 28.
Freeth, another goal for Messi. He's on absolute fire. Is he the favourite then for the Golden Boot?
Yeah, he's killing us, Darren. 11-10 favourite. Mbappe 11-8. Haaland 7-1. Kane at 8-1. These are the four who were the favourites at the start of the tournament. Again, just shorter prices, really. So, yeah, you know what it's been like. All the big dogs have just been turning up and scoring, and we thought we had met, you know, Argentina and Messi turned over against Egypt. Not the case, and fair play to him for fighting back.
Right, let's go on the latest odds for the Golden Ball winner. Where are we at for that?
Yeah, big dogs again. And the favourite, Mbappe, 13-8. Messi, 7-4. Erling Haaland is 7-1. You don't necessarily, though, have to win the tournament to win this. In fact, there's only been one World Cup winner in the last 7, and that's actually Messi in 2022. But from an England point of view, Harry Kane at 8-1. I want to point out Jude Bellingham, guys, at 10-1. He has been as big as 40. A lot of money for Jude coming in, and he's having I'd say he's probably England's best player so far this tournament. Long may that continue.
And the huge, obviously, quarterfinal today, France taking on Morocco. The odds on that one?
Yeah, I don't think France will be writing off Morocco after, obviously 4 years ago when they beat them. But they're on a long unbeaten run. But the bookmakers might be, Darren. They're 5-1 to win in normal time tonight, with France at 4-6. So Morocco are as big as 3-1 to qualify. Obviously, a lot of French-born players in that Morocco side. This will be, I'm looking forward to this one. Obviously, the England game, but out of the other three, I think this is the big one.
Free for you, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. Have a good day. We'll speak to you in a bit. Thanks, pal.
Cheers, lads.
Those were the latest odds with Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 18+, gambleware.org.
On the ball, on talkSPORT with Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and check out more offers than ever before this summer. 18+, gambleware.org.
Hour number 1 nearly finished. Are you with us for hour number 2?
I believe so. I was told 1:15.
Fine. That's good. No, that's fine. I had the information on here on my iPad, but I spilt some water on it and it's slippery when wet. So I didn't know.
I can leave any time I'm not needed, though.
Slippery when wet.
Obviously.
More from the...
Absolutely horrific.
Oh, you don't even know what Slippery When Wet is?
Yeah, it's a song. Bon Jovi.
It's an album.
Okay, Bon Jovi?
Yeah, it's a song as well, yeah, okay, right.
There you go.
Adrian Durrell will be joining us, Jim Proudfoot as well. Lots coming up over the next 2 hours. Stay where you are. You're listening to World Cup Game Day live from Miami.
Before I get on to Norway, I have to ask you, because I've seen so many stills, amazing photographs that you are going to have to get framed and put at home. But that moment where Raul Jimenez was going for his overhead kick and you put your head in, there's a brilliant moment in commentary between Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce where Jim said he almost got his teeth kicked out there. And Stu said something along the lines of, I don't think he'd have cared about that. What was going through your head?
Well, I've played against Jimenez many times, and I know he always likes an overhead kick if he can set it up. So just when the ball was there, and it's kind of one of them where you're just throwing yourself in front of it, safely. You can still do it safely. Do you know what I mean? I knew I wasn't going to get it right in the face, but as I said, it was at that point, it's just you're giving everything for the team, and you know how hard they've worked. So you're just wanting to show your part. So yeah, I made a nice little highlight.
Yeah, and you talked about the specialism and why Thomas Tuchel's brought you in. Jeff Stelling has also said he thinks you should start against Norway because of what you've done against Erling Haaland in the past. I think he's only scored 1 goal past you. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, 1 goal up. I do enjoy playing against Erling purely just from a physical point of view. Like I quite like that sort of physical battle, and I get on well with him on the pitch. Like we do get on quite well, although you'd have to ask him if he thinks the same thing. But yeah, like if I'm asked to do that, I'd be more than ready and more than happy to do that. But obviously I also know that we've got sort of 4 other centre-halves who are also top quality players and have played this whole tournament because of that too. So
I've seen a picture of you both grappling and it didn't look like you were friends. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I was going to say it might be different between England and Norway, but between Newcastle and City it wasn't maybe as fierce as this could be.
Few people win the World Cup as a player. Very few people win the World Cup as a manager. Only 3 men in history have done both. One of them is Didier Deschamps. I mean, what a team. For our younger viewers, that's Zidane, Desailly, Leboeuf, Thuram. I could go on. And in 1998, those legends were captained by Didier Deschamps. Before that tournament, Deschamps had been winning league titles and Champions Leagues with Marseille and Juventus and had led Les Bleus since 1996. They hadn't even qualified for the World Cups in 1990 and 94, but Deschamps had spearheaded the Renaissance. It culminated in that final against Brazil. The 30-year-old playing at the base of midfield was keen to get stuck in. Fais-le savoir que tu es là, French for let him know you're there, according to Google Translate. Zidane and Petit got the glory, but Deschamps controlled the game before lifting the trophy into the Parisian night sky. After winning the Euros 2 years later, he hung up his boots and jumped into management. He had spells in club football before, in 2012, being put in charge of his nation. France scraped into the 2014 World Cup via the playoffs and were pretty pleased about it. Even a quarter-final defeat couldn't dampen the optimism. The tables, French fans believed, were starting to turn. They were runners-up to Portugal in their own Euros, but that silver medal around the manager's neck was about to change colour. In 2018, World Cup magic. France handed an almighty beatdown to Croatia, and Deschamps got his hands on this for a second time. It meant that he joined Brazil's Mario Zagallo and Germany's Franz Beckenbauer as the only men to have won the World Cup as a player and manager. France's victory even turned their president, Emmanuel Macron, into a meme. These still make me laugh, honestly. Deschamps went close to defending the title in 2022, but some guy called Lionel Messi had his own storyline to complete. Deschamps captained legends, he managed legends, and his World Cup achievements are legendary. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give this guy his flowers.
Welcome back to our number 2. You're listening to World Cup Game Day on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent and Stuart Pearce, and we've been joined by the GOAT. I'll say hello to him in just a moment. Still to come, we'll be joined by a man who has been a personal chef to none other than Lionel Messi. How about that? But time now to get all the very latest from the England camp with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
On England's Corner on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
England! England kämpers föderland! Lord Nelson, Lord Beaverbrook, Sir Winston Churchill, Maggie Thatcher, can you hear me? Your boys took a hell of a beating. Are you ready? You know, I feel it too.
England have beaten Mexico in the Azteca. They've now got Norway in Miami in the quarterfinals. Bellingham again, and he scored again! It's 2 in a minute! Are you ready? 2 in the middle now, swept in towards Haaland! Erling Haaland, you beauty!
To score 7 goals for Norway in the World Cup is quite special.
Beware England, beware Erling Haaland. Kane on the turn! Oh, what a goal! Unbelievable support!
We will go now full steam ahead to keep pushing and stay in the tournament.
Unbelievable support. So good, that is. England, they're into the last day of the World Cup after that quite incredible victory over Mexico. That game against Norway will, of course, be live on talkSPORT as ever. Hosting for us will be the wonderful, it says brilliant here, I think you're better than brilliant, Adrian Darren will join us now. Aid, hello.
Very kind. So good to have you in my new home of Miami. I absolutely love this place. You're fitting in nicely.
That shirts?
No, I'm in awe. Of
Do you know, didn't you used to wear these shirts, top shirts anyway?
All the time, yeah.
Didn't really work in London Bridge, did it?
No, it didn't in the rain, no.
How are you? Before we get involved with football chat, both of you have been out here since the beginning of June, doing just a sterling job, as always, for talkSPORT. How are you? How are you coping with it? Lots of travel involved.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. I mean, it's been great and a real privilege. I say it at the top of every England show that we do, every England game, I'm proud and privileged to be doing the job. So when I've got people like Stuart looking after me, I'm going to be absolutely fine. He knows good food, and that's the main thing, really. That's all we need, isn't it?
We march on our stomachs, it's fair to say. We're not drinkers, our little group, you know what I mean? But we do eat to make up for it.
We've got so much to talk to you about. You and I were just having a chat in the green room there, Aid, about not just how lucky we all are, but there are certain matches when you look back at the history of England that you can say, I was lucky enough to be there. Obviously, the 66 World Cup final is one of those. I do think the one you were at the other night, the Azteca, will be on that list. How was that night? Can you even put into words what that emotion was like?
No, not yet. I was actually trying to explain it to a friend of mine today, just over messaging, and I couldn't really. It's like, it's now that whole feeling, you know, the visceral thing of what was going on in the game. Every moment in the game seemed to be a memory. When you try and sum up the game and talk to people about the game, you can't, because there's so much that happened on and off the pitch, the atmosphere of it, the stadium itself, how brilliant the Mexico fans were as well, and they're very gracious in defeat as well after the game. Plus the moments on the pitch, what it meant to do it with 10 men, Dan Burn blocking everything, Jed Spence, you know, redeeming himself from the criticism that he's had. Plus then you're talking about the goals and Jordan Pickford being absolutely wow on the night. So many stories you could talk about, but the feelings that you're talking about, the emotions that make it one of those moments where you say, I was there. Those are locked into the soul now permanently. Those feelings, locked into the heart and soul, actually, I would say. And that's why it's never, ever going to be forgotten. And when people talk about, if people talk, you know, grandchildren, for example, I've got a granddaughter on the way very soon. If in years to come she says to me, well, what was the best moment? Azteca at World Cup 2026 is almost certainly going to be it. I've got to wait a little while, just to make sure it's not recency bias, because it happened a couple of days ago, but it's got to be the number one. That's how I'm feeling right now.
Aid, is that the type of performance from England that we've been searching for such a long time? Because we've seen them play well in games, but it felt like it was a complete performance in terms of having to come, like, obviously the atmosphere, the conditions, the opposition. Is that the kind of performance that you've been waiting for a long time?
Yeah, it was a unique set of circumstances where you've got a player sent off after 10 minutes of the second half. You then score a goal and you're thinking everything's all right. Then you concede again. So they're still conceding goals. So in terms of perfect performance, I think it was far from it. I think there's a lot of questions to answer and things to put right if England are going to go all the way. So I don't think it was perfect by any stretch. But what impressed me was the character, the mentality of the players. They could have just crumbled. Yeah. You know, once Gerald Quance has gone off, they could have just thought, right, OK, let's throw in the towel here. But they've far from it. I mean, the subs he made were with a view to keeping out the goals, and they absolutely worked.
Stuart was talking. Go on, what were you going to say, Stuart?
I thought it was. I've got a contra opinion. I think from a managerial point of view, it was the complete performance. Not complete performance. I know what you're talking about, as in we steamrolled the Mexicans and won 5-0 on their turf, you know. But a complete performance because it had everything, didn't it? It had resilience, it had mental fortitude, it had ability, it had great goals. It had a bit of everything, the game.
I think you've been talking about mental fortitude a lot at this World Cup, and that game was exactly what you were looking for from an England side. So, yeah, in terms of the mentality and emotions, how they handled and managed their emotions during the game, I think you're spot on. But defensively, it feels like we're always going to concede goals, so we've got to be careful of that.
Before the World Cup, there were conversations as to whether or not Jude Bellingham would actually start, which at the time I found bonkers. Obviously, that conversation won't ever happen again, I don't think. What was your view on whether it was...
Well, Morgan Rogers is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a very good player.
But-
And I love watching him on the ball. I've never really had a problem with Jude Bellingham. All the off-the-field stuff or his attitude on the field, being questioned. I've not really had a problem with it. We've seen it with our own eyes. When at the City ground, wasn't it, against Senegal, when he could easily have been sent off after the final whistle. There was a disciplinary issue there. We did the interview with Thomas Tuchel where he talked about Jude Bellingham's behaviour being repulsive, according to Tuchel's mother. So all of that, I get all of that. But when you're looking at the footballer and how brilliant he is, for me, he definitely had to be in the squad. I know some were saying leave him at home. That was ridiculous for me. In the 11, I wouldn't have a problem if Morgan Rogers was in ahead of him at the start of this tournament, but he's put Bellingham in. And he's never going to take him out now. He's just been, for me, he's been player of the tournament so far.
Piercy, I've got to ask you then from a different perspective, because we know he's one booking away from missing the semi-final. Now, Jude plays with a bit of edge, that's why you all love him. What do you do in this scenario? Because I know you want to play your best players in every single game, but I think there's certain players like Mark Gahey, Declan Rice, that are kind of, the way that they play, they can kind of make sure they don't get in any trouble. I'm not quite sure Jude can do that. So what do you do in this scenario? Because you can't lose him for a semi-final, but then you need to play him against Norway. So how does he juggle that, Thomas Tuchel?
Yeah, I think the player's got to have some sort of mental gist on that and get his head around the fact that he can't overstep the mark. Because if he missed a semi-final against Argentina, hopefully if we get there, it will be the worst day of his life, to be honest with you. But if you leave him out and we get beat by Norway, all of a sudden you can imagine the narrative for that. I went into, I think it's the 1990 World Cup against Germany. I had a booking, so I was one booking away from missing the final if we got there, and Gaza was as well. Gaza got booked, and you saw the reaction on Gaza. It's the worst moment of his life, to be honest with you, and it'd have probably been even worse if England would have got to the final and he'd have missed that because of what he contributed. But Jude's got to start, and he's just got to play the game, and he's got to be a little bit careful. Don't get booked for anything silly, you know what I mean? Reaction to the referee, butter the referee up a little bit, be nice to them, and you get away with most things.
I didn't know you were yellow carded in that semi-final.
I was yellow carded
before, but we're going into. Did that change you? Were you aware of it on the pitch? Did that change your performance? Oh, you were. Okay, that's interesting.
I was scared stiff, and I caught the German wing back. And I thought, oh no, and legged it over to him, picked him up, said sorry, big accident.
Gave him a bunch of flowers. Took him out for dinner.
And the referee pulled one out. And I blame myself really, because the Cameroon game, I thought we were going out. So I thought, if I'm going out,
you're going to lift someone.
I want a pound of flesh, right? Because they were punching Lineker and God knows what. It's quite a physical encounter. And I hadn't been booked, and I think we were 2-1 down, before Lynx got a penalty and equalised. And I thought, you know what, someone's having it. So I've ended up getting booked, and all of a sudden we equalise, win the game, and I'm thinking, oh no, I'm going into say 2 bookings over the tournament, and you miss a game. It's really harsh.
The question is, where do you draw the line? Because if you play him in Norway and he misses the semi-final, okay, we get him back for the final if we get there. But if we don't play him against Norway, we play him in the semi-final, we could lose him for the final. It's like, where do you draw the line?
Well, he has to play. I don't think you can take a chance on that. I think Stuart and I might disagree on this. I may be wrong, but I think you have to play him, because I'm not taking Norway for granted. I think there's another element of the Norway game, and that is him and Erling Haaland are really close, aren't they, from their time at Dortmund together. So Erling Haaland will know how to wind him up. He will know what presses his buttons, and he'll pass that on to his teammate. You could be sure about that. And they may well press those buttons, but he's got to manage the situation. He's still young, but he's experienced. He's been at the very top. He's got over 50 caps for England. He should be able to manage the situation.
Is he our most important player?
I'd say so, yeah. I mean, some would say Kane, but for me, he is the most important player. We've got another 2 strikers in the squad. We've got another couple of keepers I'm OK with if Pickford gets injured or whatever. But Jude Bellingham, there's not another Jude in the squad.
Stu, you agree with that? Most important player?
Yeah, I think he's become that at this tournament. I was one of those, everyone will say at the start of the tournament, I would have played Bellingham from the start, you know what I mean? Why would you leave him out? I wouldn't have done. I would have played Morgan Rogers, because for me, and I'm probably a manager's mentality, he'd got a lot of credit in the bank, Morgan Rogers, over this calendar year for England. I think his performances were really good. I saw it as though he might start the first game, but Jude would probably push past him as the tournament went on. But hey, what do I know?
Piers, are you seeing similarities? Because we spoke about Jude Bellingham in this tournament and how good he's been. You was there in 1990 with Gaza. Are you seeing similarities in terms of the effect that Jude's having on this tournament as Gaza did back then?
Yeah, probably on a football pitch in some ways. I think Gaza come in more lightly raced. He didn't make his debut for England until 88, I don't think. So he only had, I don't know what probably had 8, 10, 12 caps. So he was quite a semi-unknown on the world stage and just grabbed the World Cup by the scruff of the neck and was magnificent, you know. Both of them have got, Benty, that mentality, I'm as good as anyone on this football pitch mentality, and you know, and Gaza's having that mentality, people were adhered to him, and Jude has probably galvanised one or two by having that it almost comes across as arrogance a little bit, and maybe him and Gaza are quite similar in that mentality. I'm good enough to be the best player on the pitch, and I'm going to show you I am.
Good chat, I enjoyed that. That was a look at all the very latest in the England camp with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. They're here for it.
On England's Corner on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
When we come back, we'll be going through your diaries. You'll be getting your diaries out. Have you been keeping a diary? I know you can't write.
Adrian Mole's got one.
I was going to say that, yeah. A little bit older than 13 3/4, right?
Just a little.
Have you been keeping a diary of it, or is it all,
it's all
up?
Yeah.
All locked in up there.
You write it down, that's danger.
We'll be...
He's got a diary of his expenses, I can assure you.
Yeah.
You know?
There's no danger of that, is there? Right. More from the four of us right after this. You are listening and watching World Cup Game Day Live. We are coming live from Miami.
We all expected, okay, we need to beat Croatia by 3 goals, we need to go and beat Ghana by 3, and then we should beat Panama by 5, we should beat Congo by 5. But what's it like in a tournament? It's not always the case, is it?
No, definitely not. You know, it's funny when I see, you know, the betting, you know, things, you know, before the game, and I'm thinking this is not what we expect, you know, on the pitch. I know that England are favorite against Norway, but when you look at Norway, you know, they look really, really strong, you know, as a unit, as a team. Of course, they have weakness, but England must be aware that if they don't get the position of the ball in this game, and this is where I agree with Troy Deeney, for example. I think with the player they have, England, they should be more confident with the ball. They should show more commitment with the ball, you know, and composure as well. And this is where, you know, something is missing.
Yeah. Well, we shall see if we can show that. I mean, if you look, you know, on paper.
I'm just sorry to disturb you, Jeff, but for this game, England against Norway, I'm just wondering, if Norway get the ball, is it what England wants into this game, you know, waiting, sit back, you know, trying to play in counter-attack, or try to get the ball, the position of the ball, and try to conduct and manage, you know, this game? So this is, for me, one of the key of this game.
Yeah.
Are you going to react with the ball and without the ball?
I mean, it's interesting because Norway had a lot more possession of the ball against Brazil than most people had imagined they would do.
Although the tactics from Ancelotti, though, did he say leave them with it?
Yeah.
I don't think we should do that. I think we should go after them. I really do.
Yeah, pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Text from Ryan. He said, Bellingham's been very good, but I think Arsenal's Morgan Rogers should get a chance in the next game. Ryan, dream on.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
It's my life, it's now or never.
Bit Bon Jovi, you are listening and watching World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent is back from Trap 2. Adrian Durham and Stuart Pearce, brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
Shake his hand, whatever you do.
Do you wash your hands?
No, I wasn't talking. I was having a chat with one of our guests.
But do you want to pick the mic up so people can hear you as well?
I was having a chat with one of our guests.
Oh, fine, okay, all right.
How long have you been doing this?
Do you know what? You taught me better than that as well.
I did, yeah.
Standard slipping.
Yeah. Did you hear the cup of tea gate story from Arsenal the other day? I don't want to break it with me.
No, go on.
I'd done the commentary at Arsenal, the early kick-off, and I was a bit chilly, so I went down and got myself a cup of tea in the media room, and I've come back up, so I'm holding the cup of tea and holding the microphone, not expecting Sam to throw to me, and something's happened, he's thrown to me, and so I'm talking away.
Stuart, we can't hear you because you've moved the mic.
I've done it again. I'm talking into my cup of tea and I can't hear myself, and I'm thinking there's something wrong with me cans, you know. And he's laughing his head off at me. He said, "I've got to tell everyone what."
How long was that for?
Well, a couple of seconds.
That's
I was talking
amazing.
away at what was going. I was like that when no one can hear anything. So anyway, sorry.
See if that could happen to Piercy.
Couple of
Easily
amateurs
done.
we got alongside us.
I know, yeah. We'll keep it going.
Your arm's all right from carrying him for the last couple of months. Just quickly, some breaking news here. You can both react, all three of you. On talkSPORT, FIFA understand FIFA have banned England defender Jarell Quansah for 2 games following his sending off against Mexico. Aid, you can have your say on that first.
Well, all I'm thinking is, I think it was definitely a red card, so therefore 1 game ban. But if England appealed it, because there was talk of that off the back of Balogun getting his suspended. If England thought, oh, we'll take a chance on that, it may be deemed a frivolous appeal. I don't know. I don't know the details of it. I literally know what you've just said. So 2 games feels a little bit harsh, but I definitely thought it was a red.
I took a screen grab, bizarrely, before we came on air. How about this, Stuart? So how often the national teams left in the comp get a red card? England are top of the list. They get 1 card every 7 fouls. Bottom of the list, 1 card every 22 fouls. Argentina. Is there anything in that?
Yeah, they play the game cuter than we do. It's as simple as that. They play the game cuter than we do, and there's a reputation that goes before English players and English teams, I'm afraid. That is, and the best people to ask is not me, ask the referees.
Yeah. Well, you're 100% right, because Spain are behind Argentina 17, Norway 13, and we're 7.
The dark arts Argentina.
Yeah.
With Simeone and Atletico Madrid, prime example, Argentinian. Get away with it.
Back to football in just a moment, but let's get all the very latest news from Wimbledon. Watching for talkSPORT is Lisa O'Sullivan.
Yeah, we're just watching the second of the women's semi-finals where Linda Noskova is leading Marta Kostyuk 4-3, but it's on serve in this first set. Noskova is the youngest of the 4 remaining, well, they're now 3 remaining players in the women's draw, very much finding the sweet spot in her grass court game. 10 wins in her last 11 matches. But it is Marta Kostyuk who is the informed player on the tour. This one, I think, is going to go the distance. The winner will play Karolina Muchova, who came through a sudden death tiebreak, 12 points to 10 against Coco Gauff.
Thanks, Lisa. You're a fan of Noskova, aren't you?
She's a good tennis player.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yeah. I hear you talking about that a lot. Right, time now to get all the inside gossip from our talkSPORT England team here in America as we joined my Bert and Ernie. It's Adrian Durham and Stuart Pearce. You've been with each other from the beginning of June. Are you bored with each other yet? Have you had an argument yet? Have you seen a darker side?
I'll let him answer that.
No, we got a really good group. I mean, we've been working together for however many years now with the engineers and everything. So there's 5, 6 of us travel together, and we all got similar tastes. None of us are drinkers, so we don't want to go and spend all night in a boozer. But we got music, got a bit of baseball, you name it.
Don't mind a bit of culture.
Bit of culture as well.
So important, right?
Cape Canaveral, we've had a little hint at.
The JFK thing in Dallas was sensational. Yeah, we've done a little bit along the way.
What was that? Tell me about the JFK thing.
Well, that was where he was shot in Dallas, and there's X spots on the road where the car was when he was shot, and he was shot from the book depository, which is a building that was a book depository. It's now the museum, and it was way more interesting than I thought it would be, and you came out of it asking all sorts of questions. The main one being, was there another shooter on the grassy knoll?
When you went up to the book depository store, the window, that's exactly how it was on that day, right? To the finest detail, in as much that Lee Harvey Oswald wasn't even in it. Not my joke.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. Lots of talk before the World Cup about, are there too many teams? 6 weeks of football, it's going to be too much. I think it's not enough. I think it's one of the best World Cups I can remember. I can remember, sadly, quite a few of them. Do you see any negative side to this World Cup so far, Aid? It's been fantastic, hasn't it?
The only one is that there's not enough teams. I've absolutely loved it. Our favourite moment, well, certainly my favourite moment of the World Cup generally, other than England, was the Cape Verde second equaliser. Sydney Gabriel's
what a goal.
Unbelievable goal.
It?
We were right behind it, weren't we? And it was just... and it was here in Miami, I think. It was magnificent. So I doubt Cape Verde would have got to this World Cup without the expansion.
Yeah.
Scotland wouldn't have got to the World Cup without the expansion, and their fans brought all sorts of joy. Team less so, but we'll move on.
Doesn't that seem, by the way, like a lifetime ago?
Completely, yeah. It's like another tournament, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But so I'm all for it. And actually, people are saying it goes on a long time, and it was hard to keep up with the group stages. But that first day yesterday, when we had no football, I was a bit lost, to be honest.
I bet you watched a rerun, didn't you?
I did watch. I watched a rerun of England's against Mexico. Yeah, I did.
Do you know what? I think if you've been, because they've been here, the experience for you guys is probably better than being back home, because you guys, it's normal time, the kickoff time, so you can kind of watch all of them. Trying to be back home and watch it at like 2 a.m. then 4 a.m. It's been difficult. I mean, I've loved the World Cup. I love World Cup football anyway, but those 4 o'clock games, you're just like, no, I can't watch that.
It was a slow burner, I think, back home. The World Cup. That's the message I got. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Have you spoken to your gang back home a lot?
Yeah, I've had a chat with them. They're loving it.
Are they?
Loving
That's
it.
good.
Yeah, my mates are loving it.
What did they do for the England-Mexico game? Because that, of course, was delayed an hour, right?
Yeah,
and it finished about 4:30 UK time in the morning.
Everyone seemed to enjoy it. I had one of the boys from the Stranglers text me and went, "What a effing game." I won't say the word.
I bet you don't use that language on your show, do you?
No.
Actually, yes, he does.
Oh, okay.
I'm just repeating what a text said. Anyway, I'm off to Kip. But I think everyone was wowed by that game and the experience, and now the excitement's generated. We're in quarter-final stage now, and you can sniff maybe a final or a trophy. All the teams that are involved.
Yeah. Just quickly to keep you up to date, a few moments ago, we brought you some breaking news here on talkSPORT. FIFA had banned England defender Joel Kwanzaa for 2 games following his sending off against Mexico. Well, off the back of that, talkSPORT understands Jed Spence is in pole position to start at right back on Saturday against Norway here in Miami, providing he can prove to Thomas Tuchel that he is fit. Is that the right choice, do you think, Haid?
I think it depends on Reece James' fitness, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Reece James will be the starter if he's proved that he's fit, because I think he was always, in Thomas Tuchel's mind, the best right back we've got. If that doesn't happen, could be Spence. If that doesn't happen, Kwanzaa could slide out and John Stones coming to the centre. So I think he's got options, which is a good thing.
How harsh is this on Kwanzaa? We saw FIFA completely let the USA's Flo Balogun off, and now we've got a player who's got another game ban. Do you think Keir Starmer should get on the phone to Infantino?
Well, he can try. I'm not sure it'll have any great impact, to be honest with you. No disrespect. But what I would say is this. We had Carl Walker on the show yesterday. You've obviously spoken to Carl a lot. And I think he's been brilliant on talkSPORT this World Cup. And he said to us, I asked him about that challenge, and he said you shouldn't be making that kind of sliding challenge full ball in that part of the pitch. And I felt that he kind of made it make sense that it was a bad decision to go to ground, bad decision to slide in. But 2-game ban doesn't seem to make any sense. The 1 game made total sense to me.
I'll tell you what, I hate inequality in football. I like a level playing field for every player, no matter what they are. So we've had Quansah, 1 game, OK, you know, it was a tackle, sending off. I wouldn't have appealed it if we have. I would have thought, no, you take your medicine on this one. 1 game ban, I can see that. The Qatari players got a 6-game ban, by the way, and they've overturned an American player's ban. I'll tell you what I'd love to see. I'd love to see Messi get sent off in the next game and watch FIFA squirm.
Well, we saw. I think we saw it with the Messi challenge, because Balogun's challenge, I think it's lesser than Messi's, and Messi gets nothing, absolutely nothing. Even Ronaldo coming into this tournament shouldn't have played the first few games.
Yeah, usually I'd say more on that story as it unfolds, but I don't think there'll be any more on that story. That's sadly how it's going to end, a 2-game ban. We've got to let you go. Is that right? You're a busy boy this afternoon.
Yep.
Thank you so much for coming on. And genuinely, your work has been, it always is, but above and beyond for the World Cup. It's been brilliant. So well done. Keep up the great work.
I'm so loving the shirts. Where's this shop? I need to go.
No,
2 doors down.
No.
Okay.
I didn't even know we were coming to Miami. I just packed this. I raided your wardrobe. You've been away. I thought I love that one. Hey, keep up the great work. Thank you for that. A quick break. David Beckham's private chef, Chef Dave White, your mate, gave you a free barbecue, will be coming up right after this is World Cup. Gameday live from Miami. See you in a second.
You know, the idea it's a clear tournament has been fixed. I think that's a bit powerful. Let's have it right. Because at the end of the day, if you were fixing the tournament, you'd keep Brazil in it, surely. You're fixing the tournament, you try and keep them in it. If you want worldwide viewings, and advertising and money and all that and revenues and fixing it for the right reasons so the superpowers are inside the competition.
Well, we can evaluate the stupidity, but we can dissect the stupidity of individual statements, but we're talking about the premise of what
I don't think that's stupid. I think it's harsh. I don't think it's a stupid comment. I think it's just in the moment. It's got wrapped up in those billions of people.
Stupid comment. You can't run around saying...
Simon, there's billions of people.
It's an uninformed, uneducated, unsubstantiated, with no empirical background behind it. Because it's an uneducated view. You can't tell something's fixed unless you know it to be factually the case.
No,
so
I just said his emotions run riot.
But it's a stupid comment because it's not seeded in anything. So what the argument is about and debate is about is whether people should be able to say these sort of things and whether the consequences of it should be far-reaching. And what we're talking about is how people should operate.
I think Simon's right in this one, is he not, Sean? It is clear this tournament has been fixed. Then that guy boards a plane and flies back to Egypt and goes unpunished. I mean, my God, that is conspiratorial.
No, I totally agree. It's too powerful. That part of the statement is too powerful.
Yeah.
The rest of the referee's not fair. We've all said that in different variances down the years. The injustice was clear. I mean, look, the argument going back to, the facts of it as a manager, forgetting that last part of the statement, which is powerful, and you can't forget it, I understand, but let's just, for our question and answer here, forget it. The injustice is the foul, isn't it? They're going, why are you bringing it back to that foul? Why are you allowing that foul to create such a moment in a game and bring it back for their goal? The goal that was disallowed. But
the irony of it is, if you interviewed a referee, right, and a referee went out and said, these clowns are unfair, the players cheat, the managers harass and abuse us on the side, they'd be outraged.
One of the beautiful things about the World Cup is when someone just takes the tournament by storm. Some obvious names pop up, like James Rodriguez. Back in the 90s, there was Salvatore Schillaci. 6 of his 7 career goals for Italy came at Italia 90 as he carried the Azzurri to a 4th-place finish at home. That was the tournament we saw a 38-year-old Roger Milla go from Cameroonian squad player to dancing by the corner flag. And of course, in 98, Michael Owen, who the rest of the world hadn't really heard of before he made some Argentinian greats look like school children. And thinking about Liverpool, they probably wish the 2002 World Cup never happened, because they signed this guy off the back of his performances in Japan and South Korea. They could have had him instead, and Steven Gerrard's still crying. No player's ever taken a tournament by storm quite like Paolo Rossi, though. He served a 2-year match-fixing ban before the 1982 World Cup and did absolutely nothing in the group stage. But then, an explosion of goals. A hat-trick against Brazil, 2 in the semis against Poland, 1 in the final against West Germany. Italy won the World Cup thanks to him. He also took home the Golden Ball and the Golden Boot. He's the only player to ever win all 3 in the same tournament. The World Cup is full of fairy tales, but none compare to Rossi's 82.
And a very warm welcome back, actually. You're listening to World Cup Game Day on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent. Stuart Pearce is alongside us. We are, of course, live from South Beach in Miami. Well, someone's got to be. Still to come, broadcaster, Chelsea fan Olivia Bazaglo will be joining us to recap on what it's been like to cover this incredible World Cup here in America. But now, England, they're in action in the 4th T20 against India. Watching for talkSPORT is Claire Cottingham. Hi, Claire.
Hello, sunny here too. India currently 10 for no loss in the 2nd over. The match just getting underway. India won the toss. They elected to bat first in Bristol in this must-win match for the visitors. It has to be said, India were looking to improve on their performance from the 3rd match. England took that 2-0 lead in their 5-match series by crushing India in the 3rd T20 at Trent Bridge, bowling them out for just 76 in 11 overs to secure that 125-run win. Big one there. England made one change from Tuesday's thrashing, with Rehan Ahmed coming in for Liam Dawson in his first T20 outing of the summer. England looking to keep up that good form, so let's see how India cope tonight in this 4th match. India currently 10 for no loss in the 2nd over.
Good work, thank you for that. Now, have you ever wondered what David Beckham eats to become the greatest player of all time? Or how Bentley managed to blag a free barbecue? Well, fear not. Drive have got you covered. I'm delighted to welcome Dave White to the show. He's a star of Below Deck and a man who was once David Beckham's private chef. To name but one, there's hundreds and hundreds of famous people he's cooked for. Hi, Dave. Chef Dave, how are you?
Hey, Andy. Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you all right? You good? You well?
Very good, yeah.
I know you listen to the show. Is it a bit surreal being on it, sandwiched between Bentley and Stuart Pearce?
Kind of is. It's great.
Well, you put your mic to your mouth so we can hear you.
You guys keep me going, honestly. All the boys here, there's loads of us that listen to it and watch it. Love the banter.
Oh, that's
it's hard to get banter in America.
Yeah, well, we've noticed. It's lovely to have you in the studio. You live out here in Miami. How long have you been out here for?
Yeah, so I live in Palm Beach. Been here for about 10 years. Then commute up and down. A lot of my work is Miami. Recently to the Keys, and then on Palm Beach. So,
Dave, how did you end up over here?
So I actually opened up 2 restaurants in the southwest of France, and then I lost them during COVID. So I kind of hung up my apron and then came to the States, and that's when I ended up going on below deck, actually.
Wow.
Can I ask you to put your mic a tiny bit closer? There you go. That's better. That's perfect. Let's talk about. It says it, our mate. He's my mate, Benny. Don't really know him. David Beckham. Take us through exactly what Bex was eating, his favourite meals. How did that come about? Something like that.
So I've never been his actual personal chef, but when he has events like Thanksgiving, over Easter, Christmas Eve, Christmas, they go to the house in Palm Beach. And we've cooked like king's buffets for them.
Oh, wow.
So you can imagine like dinosaur, tomahawk steaks. I made sure I got the Yorkshire puddings on there. And I mean, I've cooked for some super famous people, but he's always the one that's so welcoming. You know, he puts your arm around you, give you a fist pump. People like Elon Musk don't even look at you.
Have you cooked for Musk as well?
Yeah, cooked for Musk as
Have
well.
you really? Yeah. Did you order all the cooking utensils via Amazon then? Oh no,
Bezos.
That's Bezos.
Bezos was there as well.
I'll get me billionaires, me trillionaires.
As well.
Sorry, Bezos and Musk were at this.
They're all there.
Jeez.
Had to put my phone in a little box.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. I mean, when you've got such big superstars that you're cooking for, do you do anything differently as if you were cooking in a restaurant?
Nah, no. Some of the kitchens that you have in their homes and their estates, like they're so equipped. It's basically some are bigger than the restaurant kitchens.
Yeah.
So it's, but it's a little bit more pressure, I think. But honestly, you just deliver experience. You do it long enough, so you be professional. You have a great team behind you, and just make sure everyone enjoys it.
Is it one of those scenarios when you've got an event? Do they tell you what you have to make, or is it they just leave it to you and go, listen, come with the menu?
There's always preferences wherever you're on a yacht or at a house. Like you have preferences to guide by, but when you're doing like a big event like that, you're doing everything. You know, you're doing like hamachi sashimi. You're doing these huge ribeye steaks, fillet beef on the carvery. You got king crab, stone crab, snow crab, just oysters. It's just
shouldn't be doing this around lunchtime because we're all starving now.
I should have brought you guys something along actually.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. No. I bought a book actually.
We can't eat that, can we?
No, you can't.
Stuart, what would be your dish if you were going to invite me and Benny and Dave over for dinner? What are you making for us?
I would outsource. On what I've heard already, without a doubt.
Well, all guys can make something, right? What would you make?
Spaghetti. My mum's spaghetti dish.
Okay, tell Dave how you make it, and Dave, can you mark him out of 10? What?
Right. Spaghetti, boil it up for 7 to 9 minutes.
Gonna salt the water there?
No salt in the water. Open up a tin of corned beef, chop some onions, tomato puree, mix it all together, magnificent. 15 minutes, it's in front of you on your lap watching the box.
16 minutes.
Dave, what do you...
Oh, I'm not going to argue with Stuart Pearce. Sounds great, mate. Sounds great.
I don't expect to guide you either, by the way.
How could he make that maybe a little bit better? What's he doing wrong?
I mean, leave out the corned beef for starters. Always got to salt your water. Always salt the water. Yeah. People say olive oil in the water. That's just a waste of time, waste of olive oil.
Is it? Okay.
Don't need to do that.
I was always told to cook them separately, the pasta and the meat, and right at the end combine them.
You bind them and then you can mix them. Yeah, turn it, get all that flavour in there. It's almost you want to get all that delicious tomato reduction, all that olive oil seasoning through that pasta.
I always wondered this when it comes to chefs. How do you become so good at cooking? Because again, everyone can make food.
Cook.
No, but I get it. But at what age do you just start going? Oh, do you know what? Hold on, I've got a knack here.
I've got handy with a knife.
Yeah,
mate. That's all I've ever done. Started washing dishes when I was 13, and then worked for Gordon Ramsay for 3 years. Then left London.
That was quiet.
Went to France. Yeah, that was tough. Then left the UK and went to France. Just it's all I've ever done. If you asked me to unscrew a light bulb, I'd struggle.
Yeah.
I've done nothing else. So.
Hey, I'm an electrician, so we're all right. Don't worry, fella.
Can you explain how you do it, Stuart?
Yeah, give me a few tips on how to wire a light bulb, if you would.
What would you cook for us? And then Dave can mark you.
Steak and chips.
How are you doing your steak?
Pan for a couple of minutes.
What's pan mean?
Put it in the pan.
Right, okay.
I would have a little bit of olive oil in there first. Then I'll just put the steak in the pan.
Why are you panicking?
But then what's that little metal kind of raised platform thing that you put in the pan?
Griddle.
Put that in the pan.
Honestly,
so it just kind of
raised platform.
Slow cooks it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then put the chips in there.
How long are you cooking it for?
As they want it.
Medium.
4 minutes.
All right. Both sides?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that right?
Can I ask you a question here? You know, in our game, like you've got to have mental strength playing football, that type of thing. Do you find that in your game as well at the highest level?
It's honestly a lot of pressure on being a chef. Like Andy was saying, like the longer you've done it for, you just become second wind. But it is a lot of pressure and very little sleep. Sometimes you're doing like 18-hour days. But it's great. You've got to be passionate about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no point doing it.
Let me ask you this: best way to poach an egg?
Best way to poach an egg.
Tough, right?
I'll tell you a little secret.
Okay.
So there's a thing called a water bath. It's called a sous vide. Right. Let's get.
Okay.
Right.
It's not like Benny's griddle, is it?
No. And you can set the temperature to 63 Celsius, and you can drop the egg in there for an hour and a half. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's the best poached egg. But then you put it aside and you crack it, and it comes out exactly the same shape as the.
So you're.
But you do it beforehand. So you can
leave
do like
it in the shell.
No, you leave it in the shell.
Oh, is that how restaurants do it?
That's how big, like, busy brunch restaurants
Oh, I see.
do it. So they're just cracking them to order.
You don't have to stir it and hope it doesn't break up.
So then you crack that egg into salted boiling water for like 5 seconds, and then you have the perfect, and you have this creamy egg yolk. Really creamy.
Different world, isn't it?
Yeah. Can I ask you another question I've never understood? If you can put the mic on. That's all right. A Scotch egg, right?
Yeah.
Cooked on the inside but not on the outside. Yeah?
Yeah.
How's that done?
So basically, again, they poach the egg, roll the mince out, and a lot of people freeze the egg and then roll it.
Right, and then cook it?
And then cook it.
Okay, you're not cooking it twice then?
No. So let me explain that again. So you bang that. So you got the ground beef, yeah, or ground pork, all right, and then you poach the egg first. So you cook the egg soft.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people freeze the egg.
Oh, okay. So it's got like an outer casing of
exactly.
defence.
And then put it in and put the ground beef over it, and then you put the penne over that. So you do egg, flour, breadcrumbs, penne it, and then fry it. So you cook the beef on the outside or the pork, and then you don't touch the inside of the egg.
Okay, it's nice.
Sounds nice.
Where should we go for dinner tonight?
Lunch first.
Oh yeah, lunch. We're gonna have lunch. Where should we go?
Do you know what? There's a great for lunch because it's light. But you have to go over the beach. It's called Pepe's Pizza.
What they sell?
They do an unbelievable sandwich.
Really?
Unbelievable sandwich.
That's so. Right. It wasn't what I was expecting. Do a great sandwich. How far is that from here?
Great sandwich. It's like a 15 minutes over the bridge.
All right, we'll do that.
I mean, but the thing is, it's Miami Beach. There's so many great places.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to name them all. And if you don't want to, an arm and a leg.
Yeah. Well, we're not paying. We've got the talkSPORT card, so it costs them an arm and a leg, not us. Thank you so much for coming. Who's got the best house, by the way, you've ever been to?
Best house, probably Tommy Hilfiger.
What was that like?
Unbelievable.
Why? What was so great about it?
Met Robbie Williams.
Yes.
Which was
your boy.
Cooked his family pizza.
Yeah.
We were talking about Man United at the time before Carrick took over, and he didn't even want to talk about it because he wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But he was another legend. So stoked. He was super welcoming. His family. So
he's coming over soon, right? He's singing at the final.
He's. I think he's already here.
Oh, is he? What day is it today?
Thursday.
Okay, arrives today.
Sorry, last question for me. Can you cook anything in any cuisine?
Can cook anything, yeah.
Wow. Well, what were you thinking?
No, I'm thinking, like, obviously, chef, can they make pretty much like anything?
Can you make that Asian dish where if you do it wrong, you die?
What's that? Oh, the puffer fish.
Yeah, can you do that?
Sashimi.
You've done that?
Can't do that.
You can't do that?
Can't
there you go,
do
you found it.
Yeah. Can't do that.
But
technically, you'd have to cook it.
I've got to ask you this question, right? You've been to brilliant houses. If you turned up at his house and it was crap, would you say I ain't going in there?
Jeez, so where's that come from, Stuart?
I'm just wondering.
Where's my house crap?
I'm not suggesting it is, but if you did turn up at, his council house, like in
What's
South
wrong with the
London-
council house? What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I'm just saying, if you did turn up at the council, I'm trying to describe it to people.
Dave, if you do turn up and Stuart's with you, you can come in, he can't, all right?
I would happily cook for you guys anytime, free of charge.
Okay, well, we were off air about now. That's perfect timing. Makes a club sandwich. What a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. You're on social media. If people want to follow you, they can. How would they find you?
Yeah, at Chef Dave White. Also, just came out with a book called Salted, which you can get on Amazon. I'll leave you guys one to have a little skim
Very
through.
kind,
It's like a journey through my life.
Brilliant.
And yeah, some great.
I know
recipes
you
in
listen
there.
to the show, and I know you speak to Benny, and you compliment him on our show. It's very kind of you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming in today as well.
Thank you for the barbecue.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get around to that.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I'd love one of them.
I'll get you. We can sort that out.
I'm
We
joking,
can
I'm
sort that
joking.
out. We can sort that
I
out.
wouldn't do that. We'll speak in a minute. That was welcome. I'm not joking, by the way. So going to follow that one up. Right, we're going to have a quick break. More from me, Benny and Stuart. After this, you're listening to World Cup Game Day live from Miami. Right, that barbecue then.
Yeah, I'll get you.
Yeah.
they get into this weird situation where they forget what happened before. So all the big games, they played Havertz, right? Gyökeres, who you bought in at the start of the season, was going to be, for all the big games, in all the big games, he was on the bench. Yeah. Facts, that's what happened. So the manager doesn't trust him. That's not our opinion, that's just objectively looking at it. Havertz gets injured quite a lot, unfortunately. Gary Jesus is not the same since he's come back from his injury. So if you're now telling me that you can get through this season again and everybody else is going to be as poor as they were last year, I think you're just forgetting the fact that you lot were all losing your marbles around the Man City loss. And it was, we need a proper striker. Arteta don't know what he's doing again. You win the league, it's great, we're going to win it.
Yeah, but you know what I've always said to, I've always said to you, that Gyökeres wasn't bought in for the big games, didn't I? I said that to you. We bought Gyökeres in for the game.
No, I get
listen,
explain.
I want to hear
the year before, Arsenal, it weren't the record against Man City's, the Liverpool, it weren't that cost us the league. It was we couldn't beat Fulham, couldn't beat West Ham, couldn't beat them lesser clubs. Gyökeres coming. I mean, he said it. Right, it's one of them. Gyökeres this season, though. Gyökeres this season scored against the Fulhams, the West Ham, so we didn't have a problem getting past those teams, which is why then we went on to win the league.
Okay, I think you won the league because you played very pragmatic football. I'm not actually allowed to say the type of football that people are calling it on air, but you played a certain type of football.
Would you play that type of football to win the league?
No.
What?
What are you talking? Of course you would.
Honestly.
If I was a footballer?
No, it's just like...
my team?
Yeah.
No, I'll be happy like you lot. I'll be exactly... You get me? I'll be happy. Of course I will.
But would you like to see Spurs play that way to win?
Brendan Johnson scored with like his knee or something and we won the trophy. I'm happy. I don't care, bro. However it gets done, I'm happy. I don't really care. But what I'm saying is, you can't like gloat about it and say, oh, we don't need a 9. That's crazy. You do need a 9, respectfully. What are you talking about, bro? If you sold Osimhen and Havertz right now, you could... sorry, Osimhen. If you bought Osimhen and sold Gyökeres and Havertz right now, you'd be great. You'd be fine. You could buy Barcola. Barcola and Osimhen changes their team, bro. Surely.
Do you know what? I'm happy with what we got.
Oh, you're a liar. That's a lie. You're a liar. That is a lie.
I'm happy with
that. Is a
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
You're listening to World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent. We've still got the lads that Stuart Pearson alongside us. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent a Car. We're here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. We are coming, by the way, live from South Beach in Miami. How about that? Still to come, we'll be looking ahead to France against Morocco this evening as the World Cup quarterfinals gets underway live on talkSPORT. I think kicks off 9 p.m. your time. Just quickly, FIFA have banned England defender Jarell Quansah for 2 games now following his red card against Mexico. Disgusted, that is. Right, we can get all the very latest now from Wimbledon before we go back to football. Watching for talkSPORT is Lisa O'Sullivan.
And right here on centre court, we're looking to see who's going through to the vacancy in the ladies' singles final, because Marta Kostyuk of Ukraine is battling hard to stay in the match against Linda Noskova. The 21-year-old from Czechia took the first set 6-4. Noskova serving 2-3 in this second set. It's a brilliant match of tennis and on a hot, hot day on centre court.
Good work as always, thank you for that. Right, time now for this. Right, Time for the best of Talk Sport. This is where we run you through some of the recent highlight moments from across the Talk Sport and our sister stations. Let's kick things off with last night's sports bar. Cundy alongside O'Hara, and he accused him of spending too much time on his phone.
I can't believe the man I know the most that sits on his phone doesn't have a ringtone.
I don't. Yeah, but I'm looking at information to do with the World Cup.
You're not looking at information.
I'm studying. I'm
I
researching.
know what you're looking at. I've looked over your shoulder.
What am I looking at?
Instagram.
What Instagram?
There's always a lovely big pair of eyes.
You idiot. That's not true.
Mate.
That's not true.
Mate, you're so...
I'm always researching good info.
It's very Bob Hoskins
What was that, Stuart? What you say?
I'm just saying, he looks very, Cundy looks very Bob Hoskins nowadays.
Two Bob Hoskins. What's your average screen time per day, Bentley?
Hour.
And the rest?
Nah, it's about an hour.
Stuart, do you like your phone? To get on your nerves, so you like it?
No, it serves a purpose.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not.
it. Who spends more time on the phone, me or you, D?
You.
Do you think so?
Yes, you're always trying to black something.
I just got a free barbecue. Make sure you get your calls into the boys when the Sports Bar returns at 10 p.m. tonight. That follows our live commentary of Morocco v France.
On to this morning's breakfast show, they were joined by the legendary Professor Brian Cox, and Gabby had a question for him.
You don't believe the moon landings were real?
I don't. Part of me is a bit like.
Could you educate him, Brian?
Well, you educate me. I'm a bit like. Did it happen?
Yeah, I mean, it did. The answer to the question really is that if you think about the alternative, it's that governments are really competent so that they can cover up something like that. If you think just that single sentence, government is competent, you can see why. There's no way you can cover things like that up for 50 years.
No.
Do you think the moon landers were fake still?
Well, yeah, I do. Because it doesn't have to be our government. It can be like only 10 people know and everyone else thinks it's real.
Piercy, if someone offered to send you to the moon and back, would you go?
Yeah.
Good answer, Stuart. Well done.
But if they give me a one-way ticket, I'd be a bit sceptical.
Yeah.
In fact, we got a sceptic of the moon landing just walked in the studio
Who's that?
now. Jim Proudfoot.
Okay.
Because we went to Cape Canaveral and all he done was walk round and turn his nose up at everything.
I'd be like that. I'd be like
Would
that.
you?
Yeah. Great guest, by the way. You're a big fan of Cox, aren't you?
The breakfast show returns at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Shabana Hearn will be alongside former Everton and Burnley gaffer Sean Dyche.
I love Brian Cox. I think he's brilliant. Let's finish with Hawksby and Jacobs. Of course, there was no football last night for the first time during the World Cup, but Andy managed to keep himself entertained.
I watched Bake Off the Professionals.
Okay, was there any football in it?
No, not quite as exciting as Argentina or Egypt. Although 4 of the sugar construction showpieces did collapse before judging.
Did the Egyptian contestants say it was rigged?
Exactly.
Somebody had got their meringue?
Yeah, they don't have VAR in Bake Off, funny
Yeah.
enough. Honestly, well, it's good to see Egypt have taken the defeat so well, isn't it? What a great sports.
What's the best thing to do? I'll ask both of you this when there's no football on. Bentley?
Play paddle.
Oh, yeah, of course. Stuart, what are you doing today? You're not working, right? What are you doing apart from this?
I'll be watching France-Morocco today.
Right, okay. When there's no football on?
If there's no football, bit of gym, have a walk down the beach, that
Nice.
type of thing.
Beautiful.
Very nice. I like that.
What about you?
I'll watch both of you two. Paul and Andy are back at 10 o'clock tomorrow for the best bits of the show. Check out the Day Daily, wherever you get your poddies. Of course, you can find all of our shows on the talkSPORT app, where you can swipe between talkSPORT, talkSPORT 2, so you never miss a moment. When we come back, we'll have just 1 hour left. It's filled with big-name guests, so big I can't remember them. Oh, Jim Proudfoot, that's the one you need to remember. He'll be joining the three of us right after this.
Let's go to Ben. He's Arsenal fan. All right, Ben?
Benny boy.
How you doing? You all right?
I'm all right, Ben. We've got to do this quarter-final 11. Let's get it going. Come on.
All right. I've got the Spanish flamenco dance on the wing. like around defence. Their foot tapping or does all their defence and send them sideways.
The old flamenco dance.
And yeah,
Dance
the
with
little maverick on the wing. Little maverick on the wing.
Like a flamenco dance.
Yeah.
What are they called? Is it a flamenco or is it what is it? Flamenco.
Madame, wait for you.
Flamenco.
It's a flamenco.
Yeah.
Flamenco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know you're iconic now, Ben?
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
He's actually iconic.
Ben appears every single night at the sports bar.
Every night.
Doesn't he?
Without foul.
Yeah. Yeah. Been over a year.
It's been a year. All right, look, the flamenco dancer on the wing.
Yeah.
Okay, dancing about. Bit of Maverick in there. All right, let's go to Dave. He's a Sunderland fan. Dave?
All right, Dave-o.
Hello, boys. How you doing?
I'm all right, Dave. How are you?
Yeah.
Good. Good. So I'm getting in early with a representative from England who I think can be our captain.
Okay.
And it's St. George himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a leader, warrior. He's up for a battle. He'll put the opposition to the sword. And I think we can play him on the wing.
No, he don't feel like a winger, mate.
Killed a dragon.
Like centre half.
Killed a dragon, didn't he?
Reason being, he's got a good cross, hasn't he, St. George?
Okay.
No,
I feel like as a person, like St. George feels like a centre half. He feels like a Bobby Moore. Do you know?
Few people win the World Cup as a player. Very few people win the World Cup as a manager. Only 3 men in history have done both. One of them is Didier Deschamps. I mean, what a team. For our younger viewers, that's Zidane, Desailly, Leboeuf, Thuram. I could go on. And in 1998, those legends were captained by Didier Deschamps. Before that tournament, Deschamps had been winning league titles and Champions Leagues with Marseille and Juventus and had led Les Bleus since 1996. They hadn't even qualified for the World Cups in 1990 and 94, but Deschamps had spearheaded the Renaissance. It culminated in that final against Brazil. The 30-year-old playing at the base of midfield was keen to get stuck in. Fais-lui savoir que tu es là, French for let him know you're there, according to Google Translate. Zidane and Petit got the glory, but Deschamps controlled the game before lifting the trophy into the Parisian night sky. After winning the Euros 2 years later, he hung up his boots and jumped into management. He had spells in club football before, in 2012, being put in charge of his nation. France scraped into the 2014 World Cup via the playoffs and were pretty pleased about it. Even a quarter-final defeat couldn't dampen the optimism. The tables, French fans believed, were starting to turn. They were runners-up to Portugal in their own Euros, but that silver medal around the manager's neck was about to change colour. In 2018, World Cup magic. France handed an almighty beatdown to Croatia and Deschamps got his hands on this for a second time. It meant that he joined Brazil's Mario Zagallo and Germany's Franz Beckenbauer as the only men to have won the World Cup as a player and manager. France's victory even turned their president, Emmanuel Macron, into a meme. These still make me laugh, honestly. Deschamps went close to defending the title in 2022, but some guy called Lionel Messi had his own storyline to complete. Deschamps captained legends, he managed legends, and his World Cup achievements are legendary. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give this guy his flowers.
And a warm welcome back to the last hour of World Cup Game Day on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent. Stuart Pearce is here. We're live from Miami Beach. If you're watching on YouTube, live clips they are now. Look at that. Look at the water, the sand. It all looks beautiful. We'll be out there soon. Still to come, we'll be looking ahead to Chelsea's first season under Xabi Alonso. But now, the World Cup quarter-final gets underway tonight. And, of course, it's all live right here on talkSPORT.
Everybody's here to see the stars come out to play.
Rahimi! There it is! To settle it, sends Morocco through to the quarterfinals.
They've been improving for years now, and it's no surprise that the last World Cup they reached the semi-final.
I think teams watching this will look at Morocco and think, I don't really want to play them.
Mbappe stutters right-footed and scores! Giroud goes the wrong way!
Whoever beats them wins the World Cup, but unfortunately I don't think there's a team that's going to beat them.
Olise flicked it through. They're in here! And it's Mbappe again! Magnificent! France fans jumping up and down excitedly in the stand away to our left, but the game is not over yet. Another statement from France that is loud and clear.
Oh my goodness, it's really hotting up now. Place in the last four is up for grabs tonight as France take on African champions Morocco, a game you can hear live on talkSPORT. And we'll be looking at that game in a bit more detail later on in the show, because now we are delighted to have been joined by a man who's already called some huge moments throughout this World Cup. talkSPORT's wonderful England commentator, Jim Proudfoot, is here in the studio. Hello, Jim, how are you?
Fellas, I'm great. Better than your shirts, thank you.
Do you not like them? If you had to wear one.
I haven't got the resolve to be able to carry those off, so I'm just looking at the pair of you with admiration.
I think in Miami everyone can wear these. I think that's the law here.
Is that right?
Yeah. If you had to wear one, Jim, which one would you go for, mine or Bent's?
I'd go for Stewart's if I had to wear one. Absolutely, definitely. Yeah.
Well, we like them. All right? They cost me $14. Right, let's talk about you. More importantly, it has been an exceptional World Cup. I think a great World Cup. I mentioned this to Adrian about an hour ago, in as much that before the World Cup there were question marks as to will it be too long an event? Will there be too many teams in it? I think it's been anything but. I think it's just been brilliant.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that that's a much easier position to take when you're fortunate enough to be out on the ground and living it than at home, where some of the kick-off times are extraordinarily antisocial and it's not built for a European audience. So I understand all of those factors. Here, it's been magnificent. I think there have been really very few dull games, even with the expanded group tournament. And I, like you, thought that it just wouldn't really get going. You'd have some good games out the first 72, but it was going to take a fortnight before it really started trundling into motion. That wasn't the case of it. Even from that very first game, that Mexico-South Africa match with the 3 red cards and the controversy. Always good when you watch a game that puts one of your esteemed friends and colleagues out of the sweepstake, and he had 1 red card in our sweepstake, and it was 3 in the first game. So that didn't help him. But it's just been a fantastic tournament, I think, and so many extraordinary drama lines, even though you might end up with the top 4 in the world being the 4 semi-finalists.
Jim, what have you made of England's performances? Because I think you've covered England for a long time now. Does it feel different? Because after that Mexico result and the performance, to me, all of a sudden, it just feels like, OK, this might be the time it is coming on.
Yes, it feels a little bit different. Not better necessarily, but a little bit different, because I don't think that previously England could necessarily have won that game in that kind of way. I think that England have, in some of the tournaments under Gareth Southgate, been a little bit more consistent. If you look back at 2018, I think that there was probably more confidence snowballing at this stage, where there was a quarter-final against Sweden, you'll remember, and we were 100% sure that England were going to win that game, and very confident that they would then be able to beat Croatia in the semi-final. So I don't think there's quite as much confidence at this stage, Benty, as there maybe was 8 years ago. That was unfounded confidence that time round, and we've seen England win a match in almost a unique kind of way that I've, as an England supporter, have seen very few games like that over the past. So it does feel a little bit different. What have I made of the performances? Mixed bag. Brilliant in parts against Croatia. Bang average against Ghana. little mix of both against Panama, but a couple of moments of brilliance. Got the job done against Congo. Mexico was sensational. So we've sort of seen the whole spectrum, really.
I want to ask you about the Mexico game. You've been commentating on football for a long time. I think you did the first final in 1930 when Uruguay won it. What for you, in your opinion, where does that one rank? Because it's not just the game you were commentating on, it's where the game was, the stadium, the passion. It was a nighttime kickoff as well. Just everything. For me, it's one of the greatest games I've ever seen. But you've commentated on hundreds, maybe thousands of games. Where does that one rank, Jim?
It's certainly one of the greatest games I've ever seen or commentated on, without a shadow of a doubt. And it could be number one. Now, recency bias is something that you always want to guard against. And, it's the last game I saw, therefore it must be the best game I've ever seen. But it's, without a shadow of a doubt, it's in the top 5. And I've seen the lists that have been doing the rounds on social media, and England fans that have been to more games than I have watching them have got varying different orders. Certainly the best England game, my favourite England game that I've ever commentated on, and I was very fortunate to be in Munich for the 5-1. Sat alongside Alan Parry, who was doing the commentary for talkSPORT back then, 25 years ago. The game that Ollie came off the bench and scored the very late winner against the Dutch in the semi-finals of the last Euros is that's an iconic moment and a great game. Some have got that as number one. I would have this one above each of those two, without a shadow of a doubt. But that, it's only personal taste.
Yeah.
But I think it is everything about it. Their extraordinary home record, an iconic venue. The chips are down. You think that they're not going to do it. Even when the 11 came up, I was thinking, 11, are we going to be able to get this to extra time? That was my thought as an England supporter. At that stage, let alone that they'd be able to hang on. So, yeah, this one's my favourite, but I fully respect the opinions of those that would stick some other games up against it.
You've been on the road for, I think, the beginning of June with the man sat to your left, Stuart Pearce. What have you learnt about Stuart that perhaps you didn't know before?
Oh, so much. So much. We just have some frightening conversations.
He looks confused.
He's probably giving me the eyes now, isn't he? Yeah, no, it's all right. I won't mention it. He's a great travelling companion. He's fantastic. You can understand why he's so popular in dressing rooms.
Yeah,
because he's just got that that little lunatic edge that keeps you on your toes.
Has he got any isms, like when you get on a plane, he's got to be near the window, he's got to have an aisle seat, or when he checks into a hotel, he's got anything like that?
He's got to be asleep for takeoff. I mean, that's the one thing.
Yeah, I'm always asleep for takeoff. I've never seen the takeoff in world travelling as yet.
You used to be a pilot, though, didn't you?
Yeah. Slept through that.
Just press the button that says autopilot, you'll be all right.
Well, you've got to be asleep. Why is that? It's like you just doze off, do you? Naturally.
Just doze off. Yeah. My mum was a great cat napper.
That's
and
amazing.
She passed it down in her genetic line.
Me and Benny aren't fans of travelling. I've got a little bit better over the years, but
I hate it.
But if you could have that button where you just go boom when you're asleep.
I love travelling. I love the
one likes
meals
flying.
And everything.
No one likes
flying.
flying.
I do.
Yeah, I like flying.
You actually like it, being in a little tube 33,000 miles up in the air.
Great fun.
Yeah,
that's why you're getting on with each other. I have to ask you a bit of breaking news today. I'm sure you'll cross it. Of course you are. Jarell Kwanzaa been banned for 2 games now following his red card against Mexico. What do you make of that, Jim?
I agree with Adrian's sentiments earlier. I had no problem at all with it being a red card. I didn't think it was a foul at the time, and I know in my commentary I said it's a clean tackle. You see the replay and you realise why the Mexicans have been incensed. I completely understand why the VAR looked at it and sent him off. Not got a problem with any of that, because I think that he was unlucky, but he did catch him on the left leg with 6 studs. To increase the ban, I think, is extraordinary. I don't understand the rationale behind that. If you look at the challenge, he hasn't gone in deliberately dangerously. He's unlucky because, having made the challenge and slightly mistimed it, his leg has bounced off the top of the ball, and that is absolutely concerned why has shown why the contact was where it was on his leg. So it's all down to that unlucky touch off the top of the ball. We saw it in a Premier League game a few years back. It was one between Bournemouth and Wolves, exactly the same type of challenge where the player's leg has bounced off the top of the ball and it's made the contact look a lot worse. So I think 1 game would have been fair. 2, I think, is outrageous.
Stuart, just quickly on that. If we get to the final, he would have served his 2 games. If everyone's fit for that final, does he go straight back into that 11?
No, I don't think so. I think once you've had 2 games and the attrition it's going to take to get through these 2 games to get to the final, I think he'll lose his place accordingly from there, because I fully expect either Reece James would have come in and done quite well, or whoever he decides to play left back.
Okay. I've got to let you go, Stuart. You're going, but I think you're back tomorrow, is that right?
I am back tomorrow.
That'd be nice.
Yes.
Okay. What are you doing with your afternoon?
France versus Morocco.
Are you going to watch that
and
sit in front of the telly?
Bit of sunshine out on the veranda, all being well.
Oh, that'd be nice. Well, you've earned it today. You've been brilliant. I think. Are you staying with us, Jim, or are we letting you go?
No, I'm going as well.
You're going as well.
So both I'm his chauffeur.
Okay. Okay, he called you a lot worse when you weren't here. So we're going to let one great commentator go. We've got another one. Join us. Sam Matterface will be in the hot seat in just a moment. Boys, have a great afternoon.
Good to see you.
More from me and Benny right after this.
You know management inside out. Tuchel might just be the 1% difference.
He might well be, but what I'm saying
between
is,
winning it and not winning it.
I need to make this really clear. I am not questioning or doing him down. I'm trying to give you a balanced view of how I see management.
Yeah.
He hasn't done it yet. You only ever judged on what you end up winning, not whether you could have won it. Brendan Rodgers, apart from the slip, would have possibly, well, very nearly could have won the Premier League.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they don't judge him on the fact that as if he did win it, he didn't win it.
Until
yes,
England do it.
That's all I'm saying. And I want him to win it. I want the country to win the
bottom line is this, and we will never know. If Tuchel had been in charge of England at Wembley that night, in the European final, against Italy, you have ended up winning it.
I was there, by the way. I was there.
You
You know, you
changed it.
Changed it.
So Simon's point is right, is it not, Sean?
The whole world is watching. Even the most.
You change it and you lose, right? You didn't know what you're doing.
Change
it and you win.
No,
you do know
you
what
make
you're
a decision.
That is the life.
No. You make a decision.
Well,
we all know you live and die by decisions. But when something's coming on top and the whole world's watching it and going, we need to change something. We need to change something. We need to change something. Okay, we haven't changed something. They've scored. Now we're going to change something. They've scored. Now it's easy to be a Monday night quarterback. We all know that, right? But the bottom line is that my inherent belief is the reasons why there's elite managers and there's the reason why there's good managers. Right?
None of us have ever had a bad game in here. Simple as that. A bad game.
So you're not football
when you're on the sidelines, and you're under pressure.
Oh, he's coming alive now, Mr. Dyke.
That's when the truth is, really.
Tuchel will only be judged by when those moments come.
Yes.
They haven't come. They haven't come against Ghana.
Which is fair. That's exactly fair.
But when they do come, I'm willing to bet you that Tuchel's credentials and the elite gene that I think that he has, which is the reasons why he's managed PSG, Bayern Munich. Yeah, it's a mentality. It's a mentality. Of course, it's a bloody stupid.
I've got a ginger gene.
Well, you've got many genes, I suspect.
I have flat genes.
Ill-fitting ones, most of them, I suspect, yeah.
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent, alongside, brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app. We're coming to you live from South Beach in Miami. Still to come, we'll be looking ahead to Chelsea's first season under Xabi Alonso. We'll talk to Sam Matterface, the superstar that is, has joined us in the studio. We'll say hello to him in just a moment. But before that, let's get all the very latest from Wimbledon. Watch it for talkSPORT is Lisa O'Sullivan.
Andy, 21-year-old Linda Noshkova's booked her place in a maiden Grand Slam final. She beat Ukraine's Marta Kostyuk in straight sets, 6-4, 6-4. Not quite as straightforward as the score suggests, but coming into Wimbledon, she'd taken the title in Berlin and is now on a run of 11 wins from her last 12 matches. It means the new ladies' champion is guaranteed to come from Czechia, as Noskova will play countrywoman Karolina Mukova, who won a final set tiebreak to knock out Coco Gauff.
Good work. Thank you for that, Lisa. Right, I'm delighted to say we are joined in the studio by our mate, the brilliant talkSPORT commentator, Sam Matterface is here. Hello, Sam Matterface.
Hello, gentlemen. How are we?
We're good. We're very well. You all right?
You're dressed to kill, aren't you? I saw you walking down Ocean Drive earlier on, and I thought, yeah, they're at home. They're at home.
Did you think they're remaking Miami Vice with Crockett Tubbs?
I did, yeah.
You had to wear one of the shirts, Sam. Which one?
Oh, your one.
Yeah,
your one is more my vibe.
Can I say that on the radio, your one doesn't really work, does it?
Ah, the pink one.
Benty's one. Benty's one.
Benty's pink one.
Too many jokes.
Yeah.
What have you done? We last saw you in New York. I've lost track of days.
It was only a couple of days ago, wasn't it?
Was it? Okay.
We went to the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge. We had a little picture, didn't we?
That was pretty cool.
We went to a sports bar. We watched Messi come back from the death. I was absolutely certain that Egypt were going to go through, and Andy went, no. And then when they went up what we thought at the time was 2-0 up, I said to him, I told you. And he came back after the goal was disallowed and went, what would you say?
Yeah.
And then Cookie couldn't say anything because he lost control of his tongue.
He
when he
did.
Went for extra hot chicken wings.
Oh, that was it Inferno?
Inferno levels, yeah.
He said to him, apparently it knocked him out for the rest of the day.
He said his stomach was a bit...
Yeah. But then again, let's be honest.
To be fair...
He's not the world's healthiest eater, is he?
Remember what you said to him?
What?
About expecting.
Oh, that was nasty.
Was it?
It was nasty, wasn't it? I thought that.
It was a little bit.
What was he? Was he keeping the
below
pregnancy
belt.
secret?
Stop it.
Right, let's talk football. Time to slide into Game Day with Burger King.
Sliding into Game Day on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
Yes, Morocco will come up against France in a blockbuster match to kick off the quarterfinals. Morocco star Brahim Diaz answered the media's questions ahead of this one. He was asked how his side are preparing for the wealth of experience within that French squad.
Yeah, we have experience also. I think we played big games already, and of course it will be an experience game, but I trust my team. If you see our lineup, if you see the players who come from the bench, or if you see the staff, the coach, everything, I think we have experience enough to show tomorrow that we can win.
What I find interesting, Sam, about Morocco is before the World Cup, no one picked them to do damage. They've got a chance to get into their, I think, back-to-back semi-finals at the World Cup. And you speak to everyone, and they're like, oh, yeah, they're a good team. Why didn't we really talk about them too much before the tournament?
I don't know. I think we were doing previews to it. People were saying that they were sort of having that debate with themselves. Can you call them dark horses or not anymore? Because obviously they got to the World Cup semi-final. They got to the final of the Africa Cup of Nations. Yes, that was a much-contested game, and the outcome still going through the court of arbitration for sport. But essentially, these are African champions as we speak, and they are a team that got into the last four of the World Cup 4 years ago. They've got better. They're a more possession-based team than they were under their previous manager. They rely less on the physicality and more on the football. They were absolutely superb in the first half against Brazil in their opening game. And in Buadi, they've got one of the breakout stars of the tournament. They are missing Saibari tonight. That's a bit of an issue. But they're unbeaten in 34 games. Unbeaten in 34 games.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to do that Brazil-Morocco game in the first one. They really impressed me. But the test tonight is going to be interesting against France because how do you expect them to line up, Sam? Because they can defend deep and maybe hit them on the counter-attack, but France are a different kettle of fish. For me, so far, they've been the standout performances of this World Cup.
There's no doubt about that. They're the best team in the tournament to watch, aren't they? They're the most entertaining team. They've got goals from everywhere. I think they've only once not scored 3 goals in one of the matches that they've played here. They've been absolutely sensational. And in Kylian Mbappe, they've got a superstar. Elise has been superb. He's on a yellow card tonight, actually, and you hope that he gets through. If they do get to the semi-final, that he is able to play, because you want to see the best players in the big games at the tournament, and obviously Spain, possibly, maybe Belgium, waiting in that semi-final. But I think that they'll get a proper test tonight. I think they'll get a proper test. I think it'll be a really tight, cagey game, and I think it might go late into the evening before we find out who the winner is.
Would you be stunned if the winner wasn't France?
No, wouldn't be stunned at all, because I think Morocco are that good. I think France have had a very good tournament, but if you look at the teams that they've played, they haven't come up against someone as good as Morocco so far. And when they played Senegal, actually in the first half, they lost themselves a little bit.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you then, because when I say will you be stunned, you went no straight away, right? Will you be stunned if they win the World Cup?
Morocco,
yeah,
absolutely.
You would, but that win tonight would get them into the last 4. So why? I mean, the belief would be there, right?
Absolutely, but I think with Morocco, you'd be stunned if they won the World Cup, because they would have had to have beaten France and Spain to get there, most likely. That's an amazing achievement. And by the way, if they do that, then great. And then possibly if they get to the final, they might have to beat the best team in the tournament, England. But only possibly.
I didn't know if that was tongue-in-cheek. I was thinking we are the best team in the tournament.
Well, we all got very excited, didn't we, on Sunday night when we were out watching the game. And on Monday, you were convinced that they're going to win.
I forgot you were there, yeah.
Win the World Cup. Cheers, mate. Thanks very much.
No, do you know what? I don't know how you've coped with being out here for as long as you have, because we've been out here not even a week.
Nope.
And it's like I've been out here 4 months. Like, I can't work out what days we're where.
I actually have been out here 4 months.
Where did you come out for the friendlies?
I have now got citizenship, I think.
When did you come?
I came out on June the 3rd.
Okay, so we're Stuart and Jim.
Yeah, came out.
It's insane,
we're all on the same flight. We came out to West Palm Beach, where England were doing their training base. I think they went off to Orlando actually quite quickly. We stayed behind, or Tampa, and we stayed behind. We were at the England training base for a little while, and then we've moved around from there. We've been to Orlando, Miami, we've been to Tampa, we've been to San Francisco, Houston, Atlanta, Dallas, Philadelphia, New York, Vancouver, Seattle, everywhere.
Where's been your favourite place?
Wow.
Do you know what? I love Miami. Today I love Miami. Yeah.
It is.
Miami Sam is very happy. I like New York, but like as you know, we've done our money there, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, everything's expensive.
Well, also in New York, nothing stops. Everything's a million miles an hour. Here, there's a nice chill about it, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's taking their time, and I think the weather's a little bit hotter here and more humid.
Just a bit, yeah.
Yeah. So look at us talking, literally shooting the breeze.
That's going to be an issue, I think, for England when it comes to Saturday night as well, because as much as we talked about conditions in the build-up to the tournament, they haven't had to worry about that so far, because all of the conditions in the places where there might have been an issue have been quite favourable to them.
Mexico won one.
Well, the conditions weren't bad, were they? I mean, it was just loads of rain.
Yeah, but I thought Mexico, they couldn't breathe.
Well, that was the altitude. That's not like humidity.
Part, no?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. But in terms of the heat there was 14 degrees in Mexico. So that mitigated against it a little bit, maybe.
You didn't sweat, you just couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
That's basically what
you know what that's like.
Yeah.
But like here, it's going to be 33 degrees and the humidity is off the scale.
And at that time of day as
5
well.
o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's something they're going to have to manage. And actually, I did the Norway-Brazil game the other week.
We saw you there, didn't we?
Yes, you did. We saw you there. Yeah. We've hung out a lot recently.
Yeah.
And then I thought the second half, the temperature really went up, the sun came out, and the game slowed down.
You know what surprised me about that? So I know we're a little bit overjoyed, but what surprised me about that? So Bent and I were in the seats just in front of your comms position, and you're up in the gods. We're all up in the gods.
Yeah.
Is it like that for most of them?
We were pushed further back than you, and you were just watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't think that was fair, really.
What's it like for the majority of your comms positions?
Actually, after the first game at New York, where we were up in the gods and it was raining and we had no access to any digital stuff because it was just shelling down and we were getting like absolutely killed. We said, well, maybe at least we could be a little bit closer to the pitch next time, and they put us even further back for the next one we were at New York for.
You haven't got any technology. You haven't bought anything that shields you from the rain.
I did.
It's called an
but
umbrella.
It didn't work.
Well, what is it? I told you, I knew you'd have something.
I did. You know what I'm like.
Well,
I had a waterproof clipboard,
Only Sam Matterface would have a waterproof clipboard.
I did.
And it wasn't waterproof.
Yeah, it was, but it just didn't work. The system didn't work. You know what I'm like.
Yeah,
I've got a
I hear
system. It didn't
work,
work.
didn't flow.
I did have a sun shield though for the double screen laptop when I was in the Levi's Stadium.
He's cost me a fortune. He has. I'm telling you over the years.
You didn't go for umbrella?
Not allowed to use them. We had them, but we weren't allowed to use them
Because you're blocking the views out of people behind you, I assume.
Allegedly. But then we were at the back, so we weren't blocking anyone's view.
Waterproof. That's unbelievable.
It's sad, isn't it?
Any other gadgets you're looking forward to using? You can talk about?
Do you know what? I've got one I'll show you later.
Okay.
I've got a great fan, by the way, but I haven't had to use it yet. Like a little handheld fan that is really it's brilliant at cooling.
Do you know, I'd love to hear more of this conversation.
Yeah.
But we just sadly haven't got time.
See, don't get me on gadgets, whatever you do, because two things happen. I bore people, and he buys them.
Okay. And on that note, that was a look at some of the day's key. Listen to this one. That was a look at some of the day's key talking points. All thanks to Burger King.
What a whopper.
Sliding into game day on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
Sam Matterface sadly has got to leave. I think you have to get a waterproof pencil, is that right?
Yeah, waterproof pencil. And some waterproof ink, actually, as well, for my waterproof fountain pen.
Wow. Exciting man, isn't he? I'll catch up with you later on in the library, yeah? Miami Library.
I'll see you there.
Okay. We're going to have a quick break. More big names continue right after this.
Well, some blokes just walk down the gangways with a full 14-inch pizza.
I mean, as recently as 2024, Bruno Touzazol, he told everybody who cared to listen what he wanted to achieve at Newcastle.
Never said that I would like to leave. Since I signed for the club, I always said I want to put my name in the club history, and nothing changed. Nothing changed from me. It is keeping going. I still want to win some trophy for me. When I signed for the club, I said I want to play in Champions League, and everyone said that I was crazy. And we got it. Now I wanna be in Champions League again. I wanna win something for the club. I think the fans deserve. We are worked so hard to get it, so this is still my dream.
And then a year later, Simon, they win the Carabao Cup, and Bruno says, "This is my second home. We're making history. Someday, when I leave this club, I want the fans to sing my name the way they do Alan Shearer." I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Well, look, first and foremost, ask yourself the question: why are these players suddenly all deserting the sinking ship? It's not a sinking ship, but it doesn't appear to be a particularly ambitious one. It doesn't appear to have an ownership model that everyone thought was going to change the whole direction of football. Oh my God, we've just sold to a nation state, one of the richest nation states, and look what they're going to do to football. But they haven't done anything. They're going to buy everybody. They're going to buy Ronaldo. They're going to buy Messi. They're going to have this player here, that player, this player, and they haven't. Yeah. They bought a bunch of players that to some extent they've gone and made better. And these players are now doing what every player does, which is go, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh, Arsenal.
Yeah.
Oh, Real Madrid. And that's what Newcastle have found themselves in a position of doing. So ask yourself the question, despite the vilification of a player that 2 years ago said he wanted to stay, nothing lasts forever. He's done his 2 years. He is entitled to leave. How he leaves is the key component part of this. But also, why? Why are Newcastle now a place where people want to leave from?
Yeah.
And that's the problem Eddie Howe's got. That's the problem that Matey Boy that says that to everyone they're going to win the league by 2030.
Yeah.
Those are the challenges that they've got.
One of the beautiful things about the World Cup is when someone just takes the tournament by storm. Some obvious names pop up, like James Rodriguez. Back in the 90s, there was Salvatore Schillaci. 6 of his 7 career goals for Italy came at Italia 90 as he carried the Azzurri to a 4th-place finish at home. That was the tournament we saw a 38-year-old Roger Milla go from Cameroonian squad player to dancing by the corner flag. And of course, in 98, Michael Owen. who the rest of the world hadn't really heard of before he made some Argentinian greats look like school children. And thinking about Liverpool, they probably wish the 2002 World Cup never happened, because they signed this guy off the back of his performances in Japan and South Korea. They could have had him instead, and Steven Gerrard's still crying. No player's ever taken a tournament by storm quite like Paolo Rossi, though. He served a 2-year match-fixing ban before the 1982 World Cup and did absolutely nothing in the group stage. But then, an explosion of goals. A hat-trick against Brazil, 2 in the semis against Poland, 1 in the final against West Germany. Italy won the World Cup thanks to him. He also took home the Golden Ball and the Golden Boot. He's the only player to ever win all 3 in the same tournament. The World Cup is full of fairy tales, but none compare to Rossi's 82.
Welcome back. You're listening to World Cup Game Day on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent. We're live from South Beach in Miami. Following us at 7, Natalie Soy hosts live coverage of France against Morocco as the World Cup quarterfinals get underway. Football chat continues in just a moment, but first, England are in the 4th T20 against India. Watching for talkSPORT is Claire Cottingham. Hi, Claire.
Hello, India currently 101 for 4 in the 14th over. India did start off struggling in the middle after losing their big hitters of Abhishek Sharma and Suryavanshi, the 15-year-old superstar. Yes, I said 15 years old. He was out for 15 though. Things have calmed down a little in the middle now with India's score ticking along quite nicely. As I say that, a wicket has fallen actually now. India are 101 for 4. India are currently on the back foot of this 5-match series after England took that 2-0 lead at Trent Bridge, bowling them out for 76, for just 76 in 12 overs, and they secured that with a 125-run win. I'll see very shortly. I think it was Jacks with that wicket. Other wickets from Jofra Archer, Josh Tongue and Adil Rashid, who struck with his 4th delivery. New batter then out at the moment. 101 for 4 are India in the 14th over.
Good work, thank you for that. Right, on with our show, and we can say hello to our next guest. Somebody like to say broadcaster, Chelsea fan, host of Early Sports Breakfast, and professional sunbather. Olivia Bazaglo joins us.
I take my sunbathing very seriously.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
You look brown, apart from the nose, which has gone all red. What happened there this morning?
Benny just said it looks brown.
No, he's colourblind.
I have been out in the sun all morning since about 8 o'clock and just laying there frazzling. And
Nice.
It's my favourite thing to do.
Yes, we haven't had the privilege yet, but that's coming, I'm
come.
sure. Are you enjoying your time out? You're working here with FIFA. Tell us what you've been doing.
I am having the best time. I worked with a brand before this job for the first couple of weeks, and that's when I was in Houston and Dallas. I love Dallas. I was living out my full cowgirl dream. It was unbelievable.
I saw your Instagram.
Oh, it was so good. I've never watched Yellowstone.
You need to watch it. It's slow. It's slow.
Oh, I'm on Slow Horses at the moment, which is really good. Have you seen Slow Horses?
Yeah, nice. Yeah, well, you're really up to speed with
Sorry,
TV at the
sorry.
moment.
Yeah, sorry, I know. And I late to the party.
You know the Beatles split up as well.
Shut up. Yeah, so I was out here with a brand doing shows with Rio, Ferdinand and Kaka, which was amazing. Wow. Yeah, I know. And he's like the nicest bloke ever, Kaka. And I wanted to go and say hello to him before we went like on air basically, and he was just talking to him about the Brazil team, and I was just like, this is so cool. And one of the features, we were sat on a sofa and looking back through some of the best performances that he's picked out in World Cup history, and so I was just sat with Kaka talking about R9. And I was just like, this is mental, like absolutely mental. Then I went to Mexico City as a fan.
I was going to ask you about that. You were lucky enough to get into the stadium and watch the game, right?
Yeah, I had a ticket, and it was shout out to Pat actually, the England kit man. He got my boyfriend because he used to be the West Brom kit man. My boyfriend's a West Brom fan. He managed to get us 2 tickets, so we were very, very grateful. It was I can't even describe to you the experience of being there.
I'm guessing emotional as well, right?
So emotional. I don't know if this has anything to do with the altitude, but I felt like I'd been hit by a bus after that game.
You said that, yeah.
My body just hurt, and I don't know. It was like, God knows how they must feel if I'm just sat up in the stands. Obviously, like you're living everything through them, and like the emotions of the up and down, like the roller coaster of the game that we were watching. But it was all worth it in the end, and the celebrations and the Mexican fans, genuinely, I know a lot of people have said it, they are the best sets of fans I've ever come across. To be congratulating us while we're in the stadium singing Wonderwall and Sweet Caroline, and they're just shaking our hands going, well done, congratulations, good luck.
I love that.
And they're outside chucking all the England fans up, celebrate, like, it's still like a big party after the game, even though we just knocked them out of the FA Cup.
Do you think football's very tribal, right? Incredibly tribal. I think more so back home than international football.
Yeah.
Do you get that feeling? I don't know how many matches you've been to, but that's the only one we need really to talk about. Do you see a big difference between sets of fans when you go and watch your Chelsea? We'll talk about Chelsea. Like, let's just say Chelsea are playing Arsenal, Chelsea are playing Spurs, prime example, right? There's a hatred there.
Yeah.
Do you feel a lot more comfortable when you go to the Azteca to watch England, Mexico?
And I wasn't sure what to expect because, you don't know. There's been a lot of people saying stuff about Mexico City, and you're just never quite sure what it's going to be like. It exceeded every expectation, and there was not one bit of trouble. And I found that because I've been to 2 England games now. I went to Croatia. There was no trouble there. There's been no trouble in either of the games I've been to, and even just being around the cities that you're in with loads of sets of fans, it's just good vibes. Everyone's happy. And I think when you get knocked out, you're just like,
fair enough.
Like, I've been knocked out, and all those Mexico fans were like, fair enough. We maybe with the one man advantage, maybe we should have beaten you, but fair play. You dug in, and they were honestly the best sets of fans I've ever seen. And English fans hate each other. I just don't think you get that at the World Cup.
You said it was the best stadium you'd ever been to in your life. What made it so special? Because Stuart Pearce was on earlier, and he just said Spurs is better. But why was this the best stadium you've ever been to?
I've been quite lucky. I've been to a lot of the big stadiums around Europe, in England, and I've been to a couple of big ones in America as well. But like the MetLife isn't built for football, I don't think. And even though the SoFi in LA, I was blown away by that. That for me is the best stadium in America that I've been to. But there was just something about the Azteca. I mean, obviously it's huge. It holds 87,000 people. It was absolutely massive, but I think it's more the fans when you're in there and the noise they make. I was blown away even when there was no fans in there, to be honest, because I was just like looking around and just knowing the history and the tradition of Mexico. And Mexico's a football country. Yeah. And the stadium is, I would have loved the World Cup final to have been there. I would have loved it. But I was blown away by it before and after.
I mentioned Chelsea, you're a big Chelsea fan. You got a new manager, Alonso, incoming. How are you feeling about your team staying up?
Staying up?
No, honestly.
It's pathetic, Andy. I am very excited, actually. He started today, didn't he? I saw his little first interview. Yep. I think it's a big summer. It's a huge summer. Last season was unacceptable for so many different reasons. And I'd like to think that this appointing Xabi Alonso was the change that needed to happen. But only time will tell. And I think this summer, by the end of the transfer window, I think we'll have a much clearer indication as to whether or not their transfer policy and the way they want to run the club will have changed. Obviously, just sold Andre Santos to Manchester United.
What do you make of that?
I don't really understand it. I think
So what don't you understand? That we've got him or you've let him go?
That we've let him go. I think he's a great squad player for you to have in the Champions League. He's solid. Every time he comes on, he's pretty solid. And I look at Chelsea's midfield options. You've got Moises Caicedo, who obviously is the best by a country mile. Enzo Fernandez wants to leave. He's made that pretty clear. Lavia can't stay fit. Who else have we got? And you've just
Palmer plays in there, didn't he? But then
but Palmer plays more in the 10. I'm talking of the 2 sort of 8 positions. Yeah. And so now we've got a player that wants to leave. You've got Caicedo, and you've got Lavia, who's never fit. Yeah. So all I'm thinking is there must be a plan in place. But I think for you, I think it's a great signing. And I know Manchester United fans maybe aren't as happy.
No, they're not.
But that just screams to me that you haven't watched him when he's played at Chelsea.
You rate him that high?
No, I just think he's solid. He's a solid option, and he's young, and he's just going to get better and better and better. Yeah. So
why have you let him go then?
Chelsea, innit?
Chelsea, innit?
Okay.
PSR, maybe? Sold it what? We bought him for like
15,
nothing, yeah, and sold
15.
him for 50.
Do you think that policy has to change? Because I understand it to a point, buying young and making a profit, but that's not how Chelsea have almost turned into this Chelsea by doing that model. I almost feel like you have to go back to the Chelsea that we all know, buy the best players that are ready to go now for you to compete. You don't think so?
No.
Not even after all the success you've had.
I thought that maybe this summer that would change, but this to me just screams like making a profit on a young player.
Yeah.
Buying a young player, made the profit, and they're selling him on. So maybe that part of it hasn't changed. But what they need to do is that Chelsea were linked with Xhaka, and listen, it wasn't the most inspirational signing, but he was a player that I looked at and thought we could actually really do with in the centre of midfield. And now that looks like he's staying at Sunderland. So, that's great. You know, Xabi Alonso comes in, he maybe says, let's get Xhaka in.
But you're not buying old players, right?
No, but that's what I mean. I was thinking maybe that was going to be the first indication
the change of the
change.
guard,
Like, it's not the most inspirational, but I think it's solid in there.
It's experience, it's stability, yeah.
And he's played with Xabi Alonso. That was the reason I think that it was linked in the first place, because he loved playing it with him at Leverkusen. So, but now that's not happened. Then it's like, well, now what?
Yeah.
So
we've got to let you go, sadly. Just last question. You're Chelsea, you're Arsenal. Who's the bigger club in London?
Chelsea.
Arsenal.
We had this conversation yesterday, and he basically said Chelsea. So
did you?
When did you hear me say that?
He basically did. Take away Community Shields, like trophies are equal.
No.
Pretty much.
It's about fan
They're not. You've won Champions League twice, right?
Yeah, and the Europa League, and the Europa League twice,
you won it
and the
0
Conference
times.
League once.
Well,
actually.
we've settled that debate.
Chelsea.
Who do you think's a bigger club? I know obviously.
We've got to go for a break now. How annoying is that?
Why are you sitting on the fence?
Well, all I'll say is they can dine at the top table. We can dine at the top table. You can't.
Okay.
That's it. That's what we've got time for. Yeah. Olivia, thank you so much for coming. What are you doing now? What are you up to this afternoon? Is it still sunny out?
Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, good. Okay.
Watch France-Morocco.
Yeah, we're going to watch some of that later. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, we've got 15 minutes of work left, Dee, and then you can go and play paddle with people you've never met. Very bizarre. More from me and him right after this.
I think you're underestimating Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, you can look at the figures and say, yeah, not brilliantly impressive. But every Newcastle fan will tell you he's the heartbeat of their team.
Yeah, that's Newcastle, though, Jeff. Jeff, we're not Newcastle United.
Oh,
right?
Joe, don't be arrogant. Do not be arrogant, pal.
What do you mean not be arrogant? We're Premier League champions. I'm not saying I don't want him at the club.
Yeah, you're Premier League champions now. You're Premier League champions now. Let's come on in 12 months' time and find out if you're going to say the same thing if you're not Premier League champions then.
Jeff, of course we're Premier League champions. We just won it a few months ago. Come on, you know?
Yeah.
So you got to give us a bit of time. What I'm saying is, good player, but I don't want him to be the marquee signing. If he is the marquee signing, I'm going to be upset.
Well, I'll tell you what, Joe, shouldn't you be worried? You're talking about marquee signings. Aren't you concerned about financial fair play? Or the equivalent of as it is now? And you busting the rules.
Get rid of everyone you need to get rid of to make it happen. Because if you're spending 60 mil on a player, then that means people need to go as well, right? Get rid of... We've just spoken about Norgard. If you don't like him, get rid of
Trossard,
him.
Gabriel Jesus.
We're hearing Trossard. Get rid of all of them. You know, to be fair, I do like Trossard. And if it was up to me, I'd get rid of Martinelli instead. But get rid of who you need to get rid of. Then we can start talking business. But this better not be the marquee signing.
I do the marquee signing, but I agree that Arsenal need a left winger. Do you know what I mean? Don't spend 80 million on Guimaraes and then you can't afford to go and buy, like, if Barcola's available, for instance, Joel, and he's worth 100. You know, you need a top left winger, don't you, on that side?
100%. And that's what I want to see. I want to see someone... Look, the reality is if Marcus Rashford was available at a good price, I would probably go for him. As long as, you know, it doesn't unbalance the team, because he's a great player. And the reason why I say unbalance the team is because, you know, you heard of the...
Get ready to get that winning feeling with talkSPORT Win. This summer, talkSPORT is bringing you live and official coverage of every game of the FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving away £26,000 guaranteed. Go to win.talksport.com to enter now, and you could win 26 grand in your hand, tax-free. Enter now, and you could be the next to get that winning feeling, courtesy of talkSPORT Win. Find out how to enter now at win.talksport.com.
Welcome back to World Cup Game Day live on talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent alongside. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent a Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. With, in case you didn't know, we're coming live from South Beach in Miami. Final us at 7, the World Cup quarterfinals. They get underway. France take on Morocco. It's live right here on talkSPORT. Right, time now to hear some of your shared takes with Burger King.
Shared takes on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
Yes, earlier on in the show we asked for your voice notes on whether Dan Burn should start against Erling Haaland this weekend. Of course, you delivered. Good work as always. Let's hear some of the best ones.
Darren and Goldstein, the question is, to burn or not to burn? I would say not to burn. Maybe bring him on with 10 or 15 to go.
I think the biggest problem if you start Dan Burn is, you're putting him under huge pressure, aren't you? If you start him, all eyes are going to be on him.
Dan Burn has only conceded 1 goal against Haaland, and that would be a reason to start Burn. I would be very wary of doing that.
Big Dan Burn fan, but he's just not fast enough. Surely, right? Haaland's clocked some of the toppest speeds in the World Cup. Dan Burn is not overly mobile, so yeah, I don't think it's the one.
Good work, by the way. Thank you for taking the time to send him in. What's your view on all things Dan Burn? Does he start or is it just...
Nah, he doesn't start. And you can't start looking at... because he's got a good record against Haaland, because I always think when you keep putting that kind of energy out there, it changes.
You're asking for trouble.
You're asking for trouble. So no, and I think Gahey and Konza, Gahey and Stones. My first choice pairing are Konza and Gahey, but it depends on the situation at right back. But no, Dan Burn was brilliant when he came off the bench, but it's going to be a different type of test because, for whatever reason, if the same thing happens again, I think Norway have got maybe a few more cuter players in terms of like little technical players that won't just keep crossing the ball in the box and letting Dan Burn head it. They'd find another way.
Okay, good work. Thank you for that. That's all thanks to our wonderful friends at Burger King.
Shared takes on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
Now, just briefly, France have failed in their appeal against Michael Olise's yellow card in the previous round, meaning that he's going to miss a potential semi-final if he picks up another booking against Morocco tonight. He joins, of course, the England players Bellingham, Rice, O'Reilly and Gahey, who are also walking a tightrope. Yellow cards, they're white for the quarter-finals onwards, or after the quarter-finals. Is it fair that picking up 2 yellows in 3 games can see a player miss a World Cup semi-final?
I guess it's really about fair, isn't it? It's the rules. And I know in this World Cup, the rules have been a little bit squiffy, by the way, in terms of he got sent off. Do you know what? We'll just we'll leave that one.
Where's he from? He's from America?
Yeah.
Okay, he can play.
Yeah, of course, yeah, man. So in terms of the rules, that's what it's there for. Yeah, it might be a little bit unfair, but this going into the tournament as players. And this is why I'm a little bit concerned with the Jude Bellingham situation, because I think Declan and Mark Gahey, I think can cope with that. But Bellingham, that's why we love him so much, because he plays on the edge. He plays with a bit of edge. Do you know what I mean? He plays with not so much his heart, because his talent is incredible. But I just think if we lost Jude, I'd worry. I'd be really, really worried. And also, by the way, no one's even thinking about that's just one. We might lose two, but Gahey might get picked and Rice, so then you get him with two.
Yeah, but he's the one. Bellingham's the one that's the big miss, right?
It is, but my worry is that it's not just him.
If Rice, there's no Henderson anymore, right? If Rice picks up a card, is it Kobbie Mainoo that comes in, do you think?
Well, you'd say so, but the way that kind of Tuchel's kind of not really
dismissed him.
Yeah, maybe not, but he would be probably the obvious choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bellingham just got to play with real control.
I don't think he can. I think if you take something out of his game, then you get a different Jude Bellingham, right?
No, of course you do. But
if you're the manager, if Thomas Tuchel, do you think he'll have a conversation and just go, listen, hold it back a bit?
I know, 100%. Not even Thomas Tuchel, even some of the players. Maybe even Jordan, if Jordan's still there after he's up.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what's at stake here. Just a little bit. Because also, if you're Erling Haaland and the Norway players, you're going to know that. I'm telling every single one of them players to wind him up.
I was going to ask you about it. That's the thing, right? They'll go after him.
100% go after him. Maybe little nudges, little things to kind of get him, riled up. But the players in England dressing room and the manager have got to be saying to him, Jude, listen, don't get involved in anything.
Yeah.
If it's a 50-50, you could, you know what? Just for the sake of it, just be safe. Make sure your feet stays low, your studs are on the ground. Just don't be late. If you don't think you can get there, if it's risky, don't bother doing it.
There's no real way to fix that problem, right? Because people are going to get yellow cards and they have to count for something.
Yeah.
You can't just not count them for the next game.
No.
So do you think it's as good as it's going to get, that scenario with yellow cards?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. You just know as players. Because the only thing you'd have to say about this particular tournament is that consistency has been a bit of an issue, because we're seeing challenges now where people are getting sent off, but then we're seeing decisions where you're going, oh, that's a foul, and they're going, play on. So it is a little bit, and then we saw the worst case scenario with Argentina, where it was a foul, but they let it continue to the other team scores and then brought it back.
Yeah.
So it has a bit, the consistency has been a bit of a problem, but Jude, Declan and Mark Gahey have just all got to be careful.
Yeah. Nearly time for us to go. Before we do, just a quick word on that England game. We, of course, build up to it tomorrow and then Saturday. And you and I are lucky enough to be there. How are you feeling ahead of it? A couple of days to go.
Yeah, I think England will win. I think England are the better side. But again, this is the first time England are going to be coming up against somebody who is one of the best players, one in his position. Some people have him at number one in the world. So maybe you can't take liberties like you have been able to in previous games.
Yeah.
Because if you give Erling Haaland the chance, he's going to take it. But I still think England have got more than enough to win.
Okay. And France against Morocco, of course, build up to that begins when we come off air, and then we've got the game live on talkSPORT. Winners of that?
I think we're going to see the best performance from France we've seen so far against a proper side, so I'm going to say 3-1.
Okay. Right, that's nearly all we got time for. You have been listening to World Cup Game Day Live, coming to you from our wonderful friends at Sirius XFM Studios on South Beach in Miami. A huge thanks to them. A big thanks as well to all of our guests today: Stuart Pearce, Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot, Sam Matterface and Olivia Bazaglo. You do not want to miss tomorrow's show from 4 o'clock. It's match day -1, as some people call it, for England. Get this, we're going to be joined by Stuart Pearce again, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank and Rio Ferdinand will be on our show. As well as that, we'll have another couple of very, very, very special guests as well. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Join us again at 4 o'clock tomorrow.
Thank you.
Good work, yeah. But it's just off to play paddle. Whatever you do, enjoy it, and we see you at 4 tomorrow. Be safe, everyone. Be safe.
Before I get on to Norway, I have to ask you, because I've seen so many stills, amazing photographs that you are going to have to get framed and put at home. But that moment where Raul Jimenez was going for his overhead kick and you put your head in, there's a brilliant moment in commentary between Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce where Jim said, he almost got his teeth kicked out there. And Stu said something along the lines of, "I don't think he'd have cared about that." What was going through your head?
I've played against Jimenez like many times, and I know he always likes an overhead kick if he can set it up. So just when the ball was there, and it's kind of one of them where you're just throwing yourself in front of it, like safely. You can still do it safely. Do you know what I mean? I knew I wasn't going to get it right in the face, but as I said, it was at that point, it's just you're giving everything for the team, and you know how hard they've worked, so you just want